let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safe Liquid Beer Release podcast.
Be right again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
Check-in, come on, let's go. It's the AM Nasty Big Hello. Hello! It's Matt Static, AM Radio. It's the Coolbet Red Hot Nielson Show. Let's go! Everybody tune in, even my wife.
Mommy likes too.
And those Macromala intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in, he's your dealer for life. Let's crack a 6 o'clock and lager with some sirloin bites.
Good morning to you. Welcome to the Nielson Show with Lieutenant Eric on the final show before Christmas. It is Matt Iwanyk, Will Fraser, YouTube Trev with you, though. Today, as we get you into the final day of live content all day right here on Edmonton Sports Talks before Christmas. The Nielson Show presented by South Fort Chevrolet. Reserve your 2025 Equinox tracks in Traverse now. They got a bunch en route, and they won't last long. Check out all the details on their website at southfortchev.com. We're in the Popeyes, Louisiana Kitchen studio. Will, how you doing this morning?
I'm good, Matthew. A perfect sports weekend. And I know that there's college football fans for some reason in this town who maybe their team didn't do anything for them, but that's okay because A, you didn't go there. And B, you shouldn't be that heartbroken about a college team that you've never seen.
My teams were not playing this weekend in college football. The Miami Hurricanes the U. We've got the Pop-Tart Bowl, which is December 28th on Saturday, Will.
Oh, man.
And the Washington State Cougars play...
Can't hardly wait.
I forgot what bowl game we're in, actually. But that's on Friday.
But sports...
It's the Holiday Bowl. We're in San Diego for that game.
Sports of relevance to your life.
We're there.
It was a great weekend. Absolutely great sporting weekend.
Well, we talked about it on Friday. There was a lot going on. There was a lot happening. And so even if there were things, which we can get to later on, that weren't the best, there was something else to go watch.
That's right.
There was something else to go flip to.
Yeah.
There was something else to keep you entertained.
Yeah. Well, the Oilers kept you entertained big time.
For the most part.
Listen, it came down to the wire against San Jose, and then just the most professional workmanlike performance against
the positive
Ottawa.
attitude you had. There's a lot of people in the nasty chat, and we've had in the Paris Jewelers inbox already. So today is Festivus.
Yes.
So they're airing your grievances. Colin Ellerslie said, glad the Oilers got the job done with a win, but man, that was a brutal game. Couldn't definitely tell both teams played the night before. So it is one that I look at yesterday. I'm glad you went. You found the positive.
Yes.
I'm not finding the negative in this.
Yeah.
That wasn't a great hockey game. But the Oilers grabbed the 4 points that they needed to, and that was Christmas.
3 games in 4 nights, and the Oilers come out with 3 victories, and not only that, but play the exact type of hockey game you're supposed to play in that situation. Low event, great defense, solid goaltending, and opportunistic scoring. Like if your hope is that this team might win a Stanley Cup, and I don't know what other reason you should be cheering for them, then that's the exact kind of professional effort you want to see from your club. You want to see that they have the maturity in their game to know that they can go out and win whatever style is necessary in front of them.
That is a game where, like, I was talking with Scott McCord from The Bear. We'll get into morning announcements in a bit right away here for 100.3 The Bear. We talk about the Chiefs and go, well, like they're the luckiest 14-1 team or whatever.
No, they just know how to win.
But they know how to win, and they don't need to turn it on until the
That's
playoffs.
right.
I think that's where the Oilers now are. At the start of the year wasn't a good start, obviously, but now they're going to just do what they need to do to get their points,
Oilers
get their wins,
and
they could turn it on come spring.
Yeah.
That they didn't need, like, I will say this, if yesterday's game was played at other points in this season, Chris Knobloch's probably going to find some things in the game film to show the boys, to be like, we need to work on this, we need to work on this. I think yesterday, though, was one where he walked in the room, said, good job, boys, Merry Christmas, see you Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
And isn't going to look at this game at all. Because, like, that's the other, I was worried that they were going to lose this hockey game on Friday because of the Christmas break coming.
Yeah.
Instead, they just got the 2 points. So I'm good with that.
Listen, I think Knobloch has been a phenomenal coach for this team. Has been, some may say, the missing ingredient for what this team needed. I don't think Knobloch had anything to do with that win. Like, that felt very much like a dressing room win. Like, every veteran on that club kind of just looked at each other and went, come on, guys. We know exactly what we need to do. And they just went out there and executed. I mean, that third line, like, when was the last time the Oilers had as confidence-inspiring third line as they have right now? Like, it has felt for the last decade like it has just been, let's throw this at it and see if something works. Let's throw this guy at it and see if... Right now, you look at that group of three, and you're like, yeah, they're doing exactly what a third line is supposed to do. Every night. And all three of them are exactly what you want from third line wingers and centermen, in that they can play anywhere in your lineup, right? If there's an injury, if there's some in-game adjustments that you need to make, you can pull them off of that third line and throw them somewhere else, and they'll be just as effective anywhere else. No, that was a perfect way to finish off what has to be one of the most successful homestands for the Oilers in a long while.
I have just in December they're 8-2.
Yeah,
month of December 8-2. 3 more games left after the Christmas break, but they head into their Christmas break going 8-2, which included that stretch that we talked about last week of 6 games.
Yeah, that
they lost 1, and it was a great hockey game to the Florida Panthers.
Well, yeah, you go back to that the game against Tampa Bay, and they won all these different styles of wins. Like, every single win was a different style, and everyone's got good vibes about this hockey team. And then you see San Jose and Ottawa on the docket right before Christmas break, and it's just ripe to have an Ottawa win sort of steal the effort that you had against those top, the effort that you put in against those top teams only counts if you take care of business against the teams that are below you. And all of a sudden they justified the great hockey that they've been playing by taking care of the like, earlier in the year, we're talking about goalies are going to goalie, right? Askarov just came in and pitched a beautiful game. What are you going to do?
He looks like he might have a future.
He looks like he might have a future. We'll get to that a little bit later. But instead, the Oilers go, no, we see what you're doing, and we're still going to find a way to figure this goalie out. And they did it against Boston as well, where it's kind of like, before, this was a team that if it was 10 minutes to go and they were trailing by 1, they kind of started to panic. There's no panic. There's just kind of like, okay, we're just going to... They looked like Alexander Usyk in that, like, they just upped their rate, right? Like, they just continue to pile on pressure. Don't panic. Just keep going to the net. And I know that our colleague, Dustin Nielson, hates it when the head coach puts the two guys out together. But I think this this head coach knows exactly what he's doing.
Pushing the right buttons at this moment. We do have the morning after show. We'll get to that little bit later in this opening hour of the show. We got Good, Bad, and the Ugly brought to you by Play More Tables and Games. Second hour of the show, Darren Dreger, Pro-Am Sports Hockey Insider from TSN. Coolbet Hotline of the day. We'll get to the Central Casino Monday Night Football Challenge. We got that's good for the Italian Center. We got to squeeze in Fan Zone in there somewhere. We got Mike Tanier, Pro-Am Sports Football Insider from
My
Deep
favorite.
Zone from his Substack. We've got Kind of Easy Trivia, Mr. Mike's GC on the line. We got 3 questions for Park Mazda. That hurts for James H. Brown. We got Ryan Rishaug with you. You got your back Monday morning mandate. We got the ski report, Stowe report from Armit Basin. And we got the wrap for William Huff, which will feature the A&W text of the day. A&W is a deal for you. What's better than one A&W Mama Burger made with a perfectly seasoned grass-fed beef patty topped with pickles, a slice of onion ketchup, mustard, and teen sauce, served on a toasted sesame bun?
2.
It's 2 Mama Burgers for only $9.99. You can enjoy 2 of these delicious mouth-watering Mama Burgers for only $9.99 at participating A&W restaurants in Edmonton, St. Albert, Sherwood Park, Devon. What a deal. And make it more convenient. A&W drive-thrus, most of them open 24 hours. Get those texts. Paris Jewelers Inbox 780-218-9999. Do you have any grievances, because it is Festivus? If you just have any thoughts on the Oilers game, get those in. It is our final live show before we will take the next 4 days off here at Edmonton Sports Talk. But what a weekend. And with that, let's get into morning announcements, which is brought to you by 100.3 The Bear. Check out Yuka McCord every morning. It was Yuke's birthday yesterday. I didn't send him a message because he's on vacation out of country, and he didn't get my last message that I sent him, so I don't think he's in town back yet, so he's not getting mine. Also check out Jess Jackson in the afternoons. Busy. We talked about Friday, how busy of a sports weekend is. We got to get into Usyk Fury. NFL weekend, my Ravens found a way to beat the Steelers. The best games, like some of the best games happened Saturday. Yesterday wasn't exactly the greatest light, but that Eagles-Commanders game was unbelievable. But Trev, how was your weekend? How did you have a good one? Just because I want to get you in a little bit early today.
I had a great weekend. It was awesome. It was filled of lots of packing because I'm heading home, baby.
How long are you going home for?
I'll be there till Friday.
Nice.
So it'll be good to see all the family, and got some Christmas shopping in. And then stepdad surprised me yesterday and was like, hey, let's go to the Oilers game. So that's exactly what we did, and started the day off pretty strong. Had a few brewskis, and then we headed on over to Roger's place. I ran into some fellow nasties, which was cool. I got a photo with one nasty right outside the ODR there. And then, a few more nasties on. Oh, it just made my day. I was so happy. So it was a good game. All in all, a great weekend. The Oilers got their wins, which was awesome. And we went around the table on Friday. I went 2 for 2, baby. So let's go. The Oracle continues.
Round of clicks for you.
I'm very proud.
Round of clicks for you there.
I'm very proud that I predicted their wins over these very, very difficult teams.
Yeah, but that I think also just shows. I know Will's going to laugh at that, but it shows, I think, the growth of this team, because I think over the last number of years, they would have stumbled in one of these games.
Right.
They would have found a stumble in this.
Yeah.
They would have found a way to maybe even just lose in overtime or something. They would have not taken all 4 points.
Well, that San Jose
this
game,
team, they did it this year.
it very much felt like that San Jose game. It was like, they're going to go to overtime and they'll lose in a shootout or something like that. And that just is not happening.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone saw that. I caught that little fly there.
Oh.
Actually caught it.
You caught a fly?
Killed it.
I don't think
I'm watching
it
the
was
playback
actually
right
a fly.
now.
I think you are just losing your mind.
I'm watching the playback right now, Betty.
I caught it.
I saw it.
Because I flicked it after. I actually
that was
caught
good,
that
though.
thing. It was very small.
Wow. It's a Festivus miracle.
It really is, Will. It really
Miyagi
is.
over there.
It's
really good.
if we had to go back to moments of the entire 2024, that might now be up there. Late contender.
That's right. Yeah.
Late contender.
I'll put it on there, buddy.
Okay. Because we will get to the morning after show. We'll get Trev's thoughts on the Oilers game as well. But Will, we talked about it on Friday. You were very excited to talk about it on Friday.
Yeah.
Because no one else was talking about it.
I don't know why. No one else was.
There was a fight on the weekend.
There was a fight out in Saudi Arabia, which I threw on my stream I found.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say about the stream.
Yeah.
And it was already in the 4th round or 6th round or something. I'm like, it's 4 o'clock. I thought they said walkout was like a 3:50 or something. I completely screwed up on that one.
Bit quicker.
So I missed out on quite a bit of the fight.
You didn't miss out on the key moments of the fight, though.
Usyk wins unanimous decision in this one.
Unanimous, yeah. Yeah, listen, no one was talking about it beforehand, but now the entire nation of Great Britain is whining about it, which just tells you what happened again, and that is Alexander Usyk is pound for pound, maybe the best heavyweight we've seen since Muhammad Ali, in that there is no weakness in his game.
Why better than Tyson? Because I don't remember. So like
here's
you're going
why.
pound for pound, like you're saying Ali there.
Here's why. If you give me a 21-year-old Mike Tyson, I don't know if there's a boxer in the world that can beat 21-year-old Mike Tyson. But that's because that's a force of nature, right? Mike Tyson, by the time he is 29, is a very beatable opponent, and we saw that in his career, right? Whereas Alexander Usyk did what he did at 37 on Saturday, right? This is a guy who has gotten better and better and better and better and better and just has kept building to his resume. I know that this has been a debate over the years, but I'll say it. You give me prime Mike Tyson, he beats anyone. But that's not because he was an incredible boxer. It's because we had never seen
just had the power.
An athlete like that, right? Like there was a purity to his ferocity.
He lost at 23 when he was 23 with Buster Douglas.
Right. Yeah.
I just was looking at the age.
And then after that, had legal problems, but just kind of fell off his game, right? And so you can't replicate what Mike Tyson was. Mike Tyson couldn't replicate what Mike Tyson was, right? For a 3-year span, he was the scariest man in the world. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about purist boxer, and there is a purity to what Alexander Usyk does that has rarely been matched in the heavyweight ranks. You go down into the middleweights, even welterweight, you're going to find some really pure boxers. But when it comes to heavyweights, man, we haven't seen this in my lifetime as a boxing fan. Every other, and I include Lennox Lewis in this, every other boxer had some sort of weakness that if the right style came along, you could see where they would be vulnerable, right? Like we saw it with Lewis when Klitschko came along, that all of a sudden Lewis's jab was not nearly as effective as against a guy that knew how to counter it. I don't know what you do. Like, Usyk has come in and cleaned out the top. Like, there's no one that he's ducking. Dubois comes into the ring after his win and demands revenge. Like, Dubois didn't lose on the scorecard. He got knocked out in the 9th round by Alexander Usyk, right? Like, there's a reason they didn't fight 2 times. There was nothing to prove. He beat Joshua twice.
Yep, back to back.
He beat Fury twice, right?
Back to back.
Like Chisora, who's everyone's punching bag, he made a punching bag. Like
23-0.
There is no one in the heavyweight ranks right now at the top of it that is even a concern for Alexander Usyk.
I just looked up next fight for him, and somebody did an article, and it was 5, and Dubois was number 1.
Yeah,
and it was right after, like the guy that he knocked out.
Yes,
9th round. Like that's the top contender right now.
That's the top contender for him is a guy that he has already dismantled. Like
it was a 55-pound difference.
Yes,
and for that, like that's a big difference.
55. I think it was Fury is listed at 6'9". Usyk is 6'2", 6'3", so about a 6-inch difference. The reach difference was, I think, 10 inches or something like that. Like, and it's not like Fury's a phenomenal boxer.
That's the crazy part about
like
this.
Fury for
he went and won the trilogy against Wilder.
Yeah, for a guy of his size, he's a phenomenal boxer. But Usyk is better. Usyk like that's Fury's problem is that he has gone through the heavyweight ranks knowing that he can outbox everybody there. So that even if his power can't compare, he knows that he can't. Usyk. Like there's nothing to be done.
You look at the record for Tyson Fury. Up until Usyk, the only blemish was a draw against Deontay Wilder. He was 34-0-1.
Yeah.
He had those 2 other wins against Deontay Wilder. And that draw also, I'll never forget that one because that was the one where he got up where it looked like he got knocked out.
I mean,
and it was unbelievable.
It should have been a draw against Ngannou. But, I mean, That was an exhibition. That was not an actual boxing fight. And you could tell by the fact that he had clearly not done any training for that fight.
But then he goes up against Usyk, and his 2 losses in his career will always now just be those 2.
Yeah. And his real problem is he didn't take anything away from the first loss. Like when you watch his interviews, he talks about how he's like, I thought it was too easy. And to say that when that guy did what he did to you just tells me you don't know what's coming for you. Like you have not done your homework. And he did fight better. He had a better match. This was a closer match, but he did not have the ability to match what Usyk does from rounds 6 through 12, which was he doubles everything up. Like he spends the first 6 rounds figuring out how to break you down, and then spends the last 6 rounds breaking you down. Like he is an absolute tactical nightmare for any corner crew. And Fury also has a terrible corner. That's the other, like, you hate to say this about somebody's father, but Fury needs to get rid of his dad. His dad's killing him. Like, his dad is shouting over top of his cornermen about, like, and giving conflicting strategy, right? Like, his cornerman will tell him what they're seeing, then his dad will start shouting over top the exact opposite of whatever his cornerman is saying. Like, that's a problem, but what's Fury going to do? He's had his dad around from the beginning.
Well, I also don't know what else is left for Tyson Fury almost as well. What else is there for you to do if there's always going to be that money, but in terms of
there's money and
he's accomplished a lot.
And there is an open question. He has dodged Anthony Joshua
but
for almost a decade now.
Who wants to see that now?
The entire country of Great Britain. Right?
Okay,
like you put that thing at Wembley Stadium and give the fans what they want to see.
Because if that fight happens 5 years ago, everyone's pumped.
Absolutely.
But it was like that Joshua fell with some losses, and now Fury's had his losses, and that buzz. Like, and it's, you could say he was dodging him, and there was that too. But like Mayweather, Pacquiao happened 5 years too late, whatever it was.
Yes, it did. Another guy.
And that was a devastating one because it was like we wanted to see that at their prime.
Yep.
That one then happened, but they were just too old. Here, the hype isn't going to be there because they got the losses, though. That's going to be the thing. There was the blemishes now on their both of their records.
Because Alexander Usyk has come from out of nowhere and buzzsawed through them.
Yeah. I like a good boxing fight. I like the heavyweight tilt.
Well,
like,
listen,
there's something around that spectacle that is just absolutely amazing.
There's a lot of tears being shed in the boxing world today because they wanted the trilogy. They wanted the trilogy, but that's not who Alexander Usyk is. He's just a man who's concerned with greatness, and he just keeps establishing it. Like, if Tyson Fury had the discipline of an Alexander Usyk, if any boxer had the discipline of an Alexander Usyk, we're talking about a different thing. But that's part of what makes great athletes great, right? Like, part of what makes Connor McDavid who he is his discipline in his training, right? And you see that in an Alexander Usyk, and you don't see that in a Tyson. Like, Tyson Fury's a great boxer, but every time he hits the ring, you're like, yeah, he's carrying 20 pounds he shouldn't be. And what kind of an athlete, like what kind of a boxer would he be if he wasn't carrying around that 20 extra pounds?
Shovelhead says, Merry Christmas, boys. I was able to watch the first fight. Fury showboating turned me off right away. He's a beast, though.
His showboating
is what makes him.
And it's his tactic as well.
Yeah.
You have to understand that you may think that his taunting is just for taunting's sake. His taunting is he's trying to open things up on the guy that he's boxing. He's trying to get them to make a mistake. I was watching Roy Jones Jr. against Tony. Oh man, now the name escapes me. Anyways, Roy Jones Jr. did the same thing. People thought that he was taunting because he was a showboater. He taunted because it was a way to get defensive boxers to come out of their defensive shell and open things up for him later in the round. Like, there's taunting for taunting's sake, and then there is taunting because it's a tactical maneuver. And with Tyson Fury, he taunts as tactic. Like, I at least that's my opinion. I don't see a boxer that's just doing it because he disrespects his opponent. He does it because he's trying to get into his opponent's head. I'm
just trying to look at the next big fights for 2025. Found the website that goes the 4 biggest fights everyone wants to see, so not done.
Yeah.
It does feature a repeat of Ngannou versus Fury as number 2, the
Okay.
rematch.
Yeah.
The number 1 is Canelo, though.
Yeah.
Terrence Bud Crawford.
Yep.
Crawford's 41-0.
Yeah. No, like
Taking
now
on Canelo.
Now that these two fights have taken place, the eyes of the boxing world do shift back to Canelo.
And a fight probably at AT&T Stadium because it's right next to Mexico.
Yep.
You get that whole crowd that gets going. So we'll see what happens. There it was. Usyk Fury 2. Usyk dominates
and
is the undisputed.
Sends an entire boxing nation into like panic. Right? Like this has been a tough. Has it been 18 months? Like when was the first Joshua Usyk? Anyways, Great Britain had the last decade of their dreams, where the top 2 heavyweights were both from Great Britain.
First fight was 2021.
And they could confidently say the 2 best heavyweights in the world were from Great Britain. And I agreed with them. And in all of a sudden, Usyk comes from out of nowhere and just like, it's not just that like he got some lucky punches in, like he dismantled these 2 boxers. Joshua at least took it with some sanity. Like at the end of his second fight, you could tell Anthony Joshua was like, I got no answers. I can't beat this guy. Whereas Fury is more kind of like, he needs some truth being told to him because he's like, I think I won. And everyone else is kind of like, oh, maybe it was close, but
I love that
you didn't
after
win,
the boxing
buddy.
fights.
Like, you didn't win. Like he's sitting at his press conference. If you see the press conference, he's sitting there going, I think I won. And you can visibly see his left eyeball closing. Like swelling shut. Like it's still swelling shut. And he's like, I don't know what the refs were seeing. And you're like, I don't know what you're seeing because you can't see out of your left eye. Like, I'm not going to trust your opinion because you're blind in half your face.
This is the Nielson Show. Matt Iwanyk, Will Fraser, YouTube Trev with you here. It's presented by Southport Chevrolet. We have to get to the morning after show. We'll get a little bit more into the Oilers' 3-1 win over the Senators. Good, bad, and the ugly for Playmore Table and games coming up this hour as well. That's all to come following games. Anyone that knows. Anyone that's been a long-time listener at 1260 and the Nielson Show with Will Fraser, they'll know what that's all about. We got a YouTube Trev Sports Center update, and then we're back here on the Nielson Show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, a clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Christmas came early for the Oilers as they head into the holiday stretch with a win over the Ottawa Senators by the score of 3-1, thanks to goals from Victor Arvidsson, Zach Hyman, and Adam Henrique. The Oilers will be back in action Saturday the 28th to take on the LA Kings. 4 other games around the NHL last night, including the Ducks getting past the Hockey Club 5-4 in a shootout. The Panthers double up on the Lightning 4-2. Washington beats the Kings 3-1, and the Colorado Avalanche get past the Kraken by the score of 5-2. Today, 13 games around the NHL before their Christmas break, including a pair of matinees, which will see the Jets and Leafs battle it out, and the New Jersey Devils taking on the New York Rangers. Tonight in the NFL, the 10-4 Green Bay Packers take on the 5-9 New Orleans Saints to wrap up Week 16. Kickoff for that one at 6:15. And in the association, the struggles continue in the 6th as the 7-22 Toronto Raptors fall to the Houston Rockets yesterday by the score of 114-110. The Raptors are back in action today as they look to snap the 7-game losing streak against the New York Knicks. Tip-off for that one at 5:30. The Sports Update brought to you by Nisku Glass. We want to thank EST and all the listeners and viewers, and what better way to do that than give them a deal. Mention Edmonton Sports Talk or present your Nasty Cup membership for 10% discount on windshields, glass, or any of your window and door orders. Call us today to get that ugly broken windshield replaced or to start planning your winter and spring renovation projects now.
say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu, and there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Tati and Eric and all of the bad cats like Rishaug and Noodles. Captain can gauge it. Maybe it's fun but a Coolbet to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday mandate. Shaggy's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number one in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some hot takes and we wanna hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when Iwanyk is away? Beat us to tie a fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the games? Macramel, Rapaport, Dreger and Tanier. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about him give a present, does he go forth? What say you? AM Nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu, and there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
There's the sound. Everything I just said, some amazing things there. Don't worry, Trev. Don't shake your head there. It's all good. That stuff happens. I just crushed that. Everything
totally
I
on me.
said there was awesome. You missed out on greatness in what I was saying there.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
on me. I'm sorry,
That's
Nasties.
fine. Don't worry about it.
It's a tough job over
They're
here.
saying we're back. See, they're all good.
Yeah,
They
we're
can hear
back.
us now. We're all fine.
That's on me.
You just missed me going through our Christmas schedule. We got programming until 6 o'clock today. Then we're off until Saturday. When the Oilers take on the LA Kings. That was basically it. I don't think I just missed any. Oh, we're live on TuneIn. Now you can hear us on TuneIn. I heard EdmontonSportsTalk.com on YouTube. And wherever you get your podcasts. To Arthur, probably something deep. It was so profound. I shook Will and Trev's world in those 30 seconds that you couldn't hear.
Yeah, man. I'm still recovering.
We got to get through the good, bad, and the ugly. Darren Dreger coming up at 7 o'clock. But let's get into the morning after show. Oilers defeating the Sens 3-1. Will and I have already talked about it just a little bit. But Trev, you said you were at the game. Your thoughts of the Edmonton Oilers there, Trev, of what you saw last night against the Sens. And if you want to expand it a little to the Sharks, feel free.
Yeah, for sure. Well, first off, this was mentioned earlier, and I was proud to say that I was part of the wave last night, and it was the wave that just kept on coming. That I heard people say that was the longest wave they've ever seen in Rogers Place. It just it wouldn't stop. It wouldn't stop. No one would, and everyone was like, "Wow, it's still going." So that was pretty cool to be part of that. And the more and more I think about it, I don't know why people have beef with the wave. I love it. It's awesome. It's great. It's fun. It's engaging.
People have beef with fun.
Yeah, that's what it is.
People
Yeah,
have beef.
so
People want their hockey games to feel like work.
yeah, yeah. I don't know.
The reason with the wave, why, is that there is a lot of times
It was just they jinxed it. That's what
where
it
a
was.
wave happens and a goal does get scored shortly after.
Sure, yeah.
That one, I know for the anti-wave crowd, it was a worrisome because the game wasn't done. What was that, 12 minutes left or something? So my timing
in this
off?
one, in this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a lot of game left. Oh yeah. But
For the anti-wave crowd, like the guy
So that's
who
what it
regularly
is. That's
sits
why
in this
Guy
spot.
doesn't like wave.
Well, because I wish there was a stat of it somewhere. But generally,
someone
when
has
the
it.
wave happens, there has been those goals that are scored relatively after. Tommy, I think, was talking about it a couple of games ago. That Rishaug next to him was like, I don't know why people are complaining about the wave. Why people don't like it. And literally, the Oilers gave up a goal like shortly therefore after.
So there you go.
But
Yeah.
now you have to believe in that.
Yeah.
So clearly, you don't
nuts.
believe in that, Trev.
No, I don't. I don't think there's any correlation there. I think it's fun. I think these players are good enough to tune out the crowd when necessary. And so I don't think they're
I
really.
hope so.
I don't really think they're like, oh wow.
You don't believe in the wave curse
I don't think
there,
they're
Will?
like,
No,
wow,
dude,
this wave's
I
really
don't.
going.
I believe in bad hockey teams.
Yeah, but the Oilers do it all the
Ding
time.
ding ding. Yep.
Or the Oilers aren't a bad hockey team. It happens to them all the time.
Did it happen against Ottawa?
No, but it's happened at other points this season
Oh, my
where they
God.
give up a goal.
I think it's a coincidence.
Yeah. Just
But as far as the game goes,
enjoy going. Like it's so expensive. Like to go see a hockey game costs so much money.
That's where I'm at.
And it takes time out of your day that you should be having as much fun as possible while you're there. And if
Is the wave fun?
helps you have fun,
Okay.
then just enjoy it.
Yep.
Like
hashtag save the wave. Hashtag can't blame it on the wave.
yes,
I like the wave a lot.
yes.
Somebody
Yes,
needs to
thank
keep
you.
track of this.
Okay, I will. Going
I
forward.
want someone
No.
to keep track of
No,
this.
there's enough stats.
And
There's
right
enough.
now, it's
This is a
0-1.
real stat I
We-
want. I don't care what
we
the other
have
stuff.
enough
Don't-
stats.
I don't need the Fenwick numbers
We
anymore.
have
I
enough
want the wave
stats.
stats. That's it.
We have
From
enough
all
stats.
7 Canadian teams. Let's just start it small. 7 Canadian teams at home. Give me the wave stats.
Oh my god.
Maybe that's one thing I'll get Reed to ask.
Before you continue, Trev, because you want to talk about the actual game part of that, Rip City Step in the Nasty Chat. I started keeping track last night. The Oilers have never lost or been scored on after the wave in my findings.
There you go.
0-1.
Yeah, that right there is all you need to know about stats.
That'd be a question to maybe ask the players one of these days.
Yeah, that's right.
It's been asked to them.
after a tough loss.
Yeah.
It's
has.
been
Like Game 7 against Florida. That should be the first.
Tell me about
question.
the wave.
it's been asked.
Listen,
Yeah, no, I
Recently,
think
it's been asked.
tough result. Do you think the wave had
Alaska
anything to
again.
do with it?
Yeah. But as far as
Ask Leon Draisaitl it. That's what I want you to
yeah.
do. Ask Leon Draisaitl about the wave. See how he answers it.
I think he'd be very nice and respectful. I'm just joking.
Game thoughts.
Game thoughts. It was an awesome game. Well, you know what? No, let
it
me
was
step
not
back
an
that.
awesome
Let me
game.
step back. It was. I'm happy that the Oilers got the
Yes.
points. They got 2 points, and I feel like you guys touched on it and you just nailed it. A few years ago, even last year, maybe the Oilers wouldn't have won that game. They wouldn't have.
Right.
The Ottawa Senators, I think, for the majority of that game, were the better team. They outplayed them. They were making better, sharper passes. Like the giveaways, that's one thing I noticed. And I think it was just maybe they were just tired mentally. And we talk about how much they played over the last few days. But the Oilers could not make a pass, whether it was leaving their zone or when they were in Ottawa's zone. And it wasn't just, the Derek Ryans of the world. It was Connor McDavid. It was Leon Draisaitl. They were giving that puck away. So it was a sloppy win, but you hear it a lot. Good teams find ways to win, and that's exactly what this team is. But credit to Ottawa, man. Like, I know we've talked about them quite a bit over the last few years. Are they ever going to take that stretch? And, you put them with the Canadians, you put them with the Buffalo Sabres, but
The
out of
last
all
7
those
games or
teams-
so, it's felt like they've turned a corner.
yeah, and like it's not just where you have just the weird numbers are off. Yes, they do have a really good record in the last 7 games there, but it's not like they're playing good, and there's a reason why they're getting like the results are there, and that's what we saw last night. Like this team, man, like Brady Tkachuk, he's a grinder, he's a gamer, like he knows what he's doing out there. And Timmy Stu, like they've got some really good pieces. I think out of all those teams, I'm most confident in this Ottawa Senators team because they looked good last night. They did.
Rough though for them losing Linus Ullmark.
Yeah,
And a tweak in the back or something. That you hope that's nothing if you're a Sens fan. Like you really need that to be nothing because
it all stems from him.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. We saw 2 really good goalies come into town to take on the Oilers, and Ullmark's .915 save percentage all year with the Sens. If they are going to want to turn around, it's going to be on him. And great move by Steve Stais to get that deal done to bring Linus Ullmark.
It's panned out.
That hurts for them. Like yesterday, that plays a period and
Yeah,
has to leave the game.
It wasn't until after the game I even noticed because we were in the nosebleeds. Not gonna
Oh, really?
lie. We
You
were pretty high up.
didn't notice that
I
they
had no
brought in
idea.
the fin?
Yeah. So yeah, that does hurt
It's easy
for sure.
to not notice a goalie change.
Like I think I don't know
During
if
periods.
it was. I saw a Sportsnet post, but I think it's in the month of December. His numbers are like just absurd, like 967 save percentage, something like that. Yeah, so he's credit to him. He's an unbelievable goalie. But yeah, the Senators team's really good. So they've got. If you're any Senators fans listening out there, you should be pumped for the future because they actually look like they got something special there.
Prior to yesterday, I don't want to allow yesterday to mess with it, but 959 save percentage, 7-0-1 Linus Ullmark
Yeah,
in the month of December for that team.
that's what it was. Yeah, he's
Just
unbelievable.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Your thoughts? Any more? 780-218-9999. That's the Paris Jewelers inbox. They've got a huge selection on in-stock gifts, engagement rings for the holiday proposal with flexible payment options such as do not pay until 2026 in-store right now. 4-carat oval diamond solitaire for only $7,999 while quality lasts. It will sell out, and portions of sales from their holiday collection will be donated to Make-A-Wish Foundation of Canada. Any more final thoughts for you? Just get those in on the Oilers weekend. Is now they get that break off. They're the lucky ones. They got a really nice break because there's, I think, 12 games in the National Hockey League tonight. Usually teams start coming back, just after Boxing Day. And the Oilers, they get that full. They don't have to play today. They don't have to play on the 27th.
Yeah.
They get another week off.
Yeah.
They had that week off almost at the end of November. That's kind of perfect.
Yeah, they're
Nice.
going to return with games in hand on just about everybody. So
And rested.
and rested.
And
Yep.
feeling good about themselves.
Yep.
And it's not like it's Saturday, actually, when you look ahead. First round playoff matchup preview, unfortunately, right now. But Kings Oilers should be a very fun game to watch.
Yeah, and heading into this break, the Oilers finally clipped them in the standings. They're
Yes.
now a point up on LA, a team that they've been chasing since basically game one of the season. So that's also a nice sort of thing to go into the break on. And there have been hot streaks by the Oilers in the past that they've come to a natural break in the schedule, be it an all-star break or I don't know, or Christmas break or what have you, where you've kind of been like, oh, this is coming at the worst time. Like they're playing their best hockey. Like you didn't want to see anything sort of dismantle whatever mojo was going on. This actually feels like a break coming at the perfect time. Like that looked like a hockey team yesterday that was very much in need of a break, right? Like that a break is not going to hurt whatever momentum, because this doesn't feel like a momentum hockey team anymore.
No, it's been too long now.
Right? This feels like a team that just knows how to play winning hockey.
They're just good.
Yeah, that there is no sort of like, well, whatever they've been doing to put their socks on and get ready for they can't break from it because they need their whatever mojo's been happening. That's not the case. This just looks like a team that plays winning hockey and was a little tired yesterday and played the way that you're supposed to play when you're a little tired and still pick up a win. And they did that, and now they can have smiles on their faces all Christmas break. Like, it's a perfect Christmas break for this team. Well earned.
Let's get to good, bad, and ugly. Brought to you by Play More Tables and Games, from ping pong and pool tables to darts and dome hockey, plus all the classic arcade action you could ask for. Visit Canada's Game Room Experts locations, both here in Edmonton and Calgary. Online, playmoregames.ca. We got the arcade machine. I don't think there's one built for this today, Trev. If not, or I maybe just... Dusty sent one for Zach for the afternoon show.
If you want, you could give me the live copy, and we could recreate my days of
where you
of reading it. It went something
ran
like
through
this.
it?
Yeah, it went something like this. They would give me the copy. I would put on my radio announcery voice for it, and I would do a clean read. It would take me about 3 tries to get a clean read, and then whatever producer I was working with would go, "That was great, faster." And so then I would do it, and they'd be like, "Yep, that was great,
Faster.
faster."
Yeah, it was. You got a lot of copy out there. Yeah. It was always a fun one to listen to. I've been playing a little bit of the Tecmo Super Bowl. I'm feeling back. I'm feeling like the rust is off. I'm ready to go, ready to take on anyone in this office and beat the crap out of them.
Oh my God.
Oh, I'm that good.
It sounds violent. It's a very Festivus attitude you have.
Dusty, Hernan, you and I got through COVID
That's
at the
going to be
station.
your feats of strength.
Well,
eh?
we got that got us through. We played 48 game seasons.
I had to teach.
It was amazing.
I had to teach the young guy there about missile command the other day.
It was fun.
Yeah,
I like that one. It was tricky.
The boys are into. There's a track and field game that they're into.
where you just have to mash buttons.
Yes. Yeah. Give me Tecmo. But we got this game of it's got over 6,000 games from Playmore.
6,500, I think. That's unbelievable.
There's a lot of great ones on there.
So many games. Many games.
You guys are going to see the ugly side of me with the Tecmo Super Bowl. Just throwing that out there.
I've seen a side.
Then we're going to see the ugly side of you?
Nasty.
This one's a different.
This is a different ugly.
This is a different ugly.
It's a lot of high pitched lines.
I keep bringing the trophy out and keep telling everyone, "Come get it."
Yeah,
come get it.
I have a demon in me.
No one wants to come get it yet.
Yeah. I will say, Nasties, I've seen a side of Maddie that is kind of scaring me. I've never seen this Maddie before.
If he starts to lose, he unplugs the machine.
Nope. Yeah. Nope. I kick things.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. The good from the weekend. You want to start? Because mine is I don't have a big, because there's so much, like
there was just so much good.
Do you remember the Simpsons episode where Mr. Burns has all the diseases?
Yes.
And none could get through?
Yeah.
So much good is in my brain. I don't have one that's getting through.
Yeah.
So like my good for the week.
It's called Three Stooges syndrome.
It's that Christmas mood.
Get out of here, you knucklehead.
Things are great. Everyone's happy because Christmas is a couple days away. Many people are off today just in general.
Yeah.
I just love the mood that everyone's in these days.
Yeah.
But do you have a good from the sporting world?
Well, there was so much that I kind of had to, I don't know if you'd call this going off the board, but the Woods boys versus the Langer boys in the PNC Championship. First of all, PNC Championships, this is the only golf that I like.
Oh, yeah?
I only like gimmick golf.
Okay.
I no longer like straight up golf. I only want gimmick. I only want match play. I only want like.
Are you going to watch the new the indoor league?
Indoor league? Oh, no.
Tiger and Rory's thing?
That's dumb. Just go play on a golf course. Like, what are we doing? But I do I like the father and son aspect. Bernard Langer and Jason Langer go head to head against Tiger Woods and Charlie Woods in the final. It went to a playoff. Bernard Langer holds it out for the win. So congratulations
was teeing
to
it
them.
up for closer than
That's right.
Charlie.
Yeah, he got the seniors discount on the tees.
And he took advantage.
As he should. He's earned it.
Before he could see, there was also a spot because it's scramble play in the bunker. He put his ball and he almost teed it up with some of the sand.
Yeah.
He was finding any advantage he could get, and he took it.
As he should. He has earned that advantage.
Right there.
But on the other side, Charlie Woods with a hole-in-one with a 175-yard 7-iron, and he jars it in front of everyone, including his dad, had to be told that it went down, and then it turns out that's the first ever hole-in-one he's ever hit. That's a phenomenal, what a great Sunday moment with your dad wearing your matching reds. Listen, I fell out of love with Tiger Woods. That kind of moment made me fall back in love with him. And also watching those two walk on the golf course together and realize that Charlie Woods looks more like a professional golfer than Tiger Woods does now, because Tiger Woods just looks like a Navy SEAL. He looks like he should be playing for your Baltimore Ravens. The guy's jacked. And his son just kind of looks like a kid who plays golf every day. Anyways, it was a really, really sort of fun moment in golf. And not a sport that I usually attribute fun with. The PNC was fun.
Trav, you got a good from the weekends?
I was thinking, I got just a terrible answer. Maybe I don't know. Just
what are you talking about? You were with your old man at a hockey game.
That was good. That was good.
It doesn't get better than that.
Yes, I'll say that. I had said that earlier, but yeah, I'll say that. That is my good for the weekend.
What were you gonna go with?
Well, I was just gonna say Christmas spirit. My good. It's just
literally what I just said.
I know.
I finally got to see Santa, and he said I was gonna get the new Xbox.
Yeah, he did. I did see him. That was good. I was at the mall. Yeah, no, that was good. I think first Oilers game of the season. And maybe just, I hadn't been with my stepdad to an Oilers game in quite some time. So it was pretty cool. Just lots of memories flooding back at last night's game. We would drive, 6 hours, come to an Oilers game. And we do like the day trip. We'd literally go to the Oilers game and then we'd be back home at like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. And it was like a thing we did. So it was fun. Went to last night's game as a fan. It was nice to cheer.
Right.
It felt good.
Yeah.
I was happy.
Have
I was
a beer?
pumped. I was pumped. I will say also, I had a few brewskis. The intro video, I will say, that was really good. I always like going to the game and seeing what they do every year. They change it up. And last night's intro video got me really fired up. Like, I was like, let's go. Like, let's just drop the puck.
Tear
like,
your
I was
shirt a little bit.
Yeah, like, I was pumped. I was like, oh, yeah. I swore a lot. I'm not going to lie. I cussed.
Nice.
But it was all like happy cussing, Like,
Did you make sure there was no small children around you?
Yes, of course.
Or did you just scream it into their ear?
Nope. Very mature. Very mature.
The bad from the weekend, for me, it's the college football playoffs. I'm going to start there.
That's a good one.
It was very excited about the 4 playoff games that we got. It was awesome seeing the home games in Notre Dame, in Texas, in Penn State, in Ohio State in December. Was very pumped up about this all. And the differential in the games, +10, +14, +28, +25.
Yeah.
And even the Notre Dame, which was they won by 10, it was late garbage touchdowns by Indiana. They even recovered an onside kick, and it was just a bad football. It was never in doubt. As a college football fan, getting all excited about this expanded playoffs, I was worried about 12. I wanted 8. I felt like this weekend proved that it should be 8. It shouldn't have gone to 12. It was not a good weekend when it came to college football playoff action, where they all basically, like Clemson, at least it was 7-7 at one point, but then they were down 28-10 at halftime. Penn State was up 28-0 at halftime. Ohio State was up 21-0 after the first quarter. It wasn't a great weekend when it came to college football playoffs. So that's my bad from the weekend.
There is I don't care enough about college football to come down on either side of the debate. But after a weekend like that, there is something to be said for the old format of just bowl games where you picked your matchups, where you had committees come together and make an informed choice on who should be going head to head.
I'll say this about the 4 team. Most years you could argue that maybe 1 or 2 other teams could have been there and who could have been dropped out, who could have come in.
Yeah.
But I don't think I look at any of those years and go, we didn't get the true national champion type thing. Right?
No.
We didn't miss out.
You're right.
We're not. I don't think in any throughout the 14 playoff I sat there and went, that 7th team could have maybe went on a run and won the national. No, for the most part, the national champ was the national. When it was the BCS where they just took the top 2, I could make an argument that there was a 3rd team. They're like, well, they maybe would have won or something.
We're going to have
a bunch of teams that don't deserve to be there.
We are going to have a year where a dark horse puts on a run.
Yeah.
It will happen. But it's definitely not happening this year and has not happened yet. And so, once again, has it been worth it? Time will tell.
Right now, they could have started with 8.
Right now, it doesn't feel like it's been worth it.
It's not. I don't think
From what you've given up to what you've gotten back.
There's not going to be a lot of hype next year. For the first round necessarily.
Yeah.
You have a bad from the weekend.
My bad is, and not to pick on the Nashville Predators. I did not come into today's show thinking that's a team that I need to punch down on some more, because they've gone from bad to worse to bad again. Watching Askarov in between the pipes for the San Jose Sharks and realizing that Nashville just signed UC Saros to an 8-year contract that's going to pay him twice as much money as they should be paying him. And they're locked. That's an untradeable contract now. And they gave up on this. If Nashville was going to be this bad, they should be doing it with an Askarov in between the pipes and building towards something. Nashville, right now, is looking at San Jose going, oh, that could have been our future. I guess that won't be our... they are so behind the 8 ball now, especially when you look at the San Jose Sharks that...
But they do
are about to... next year, is it going to surprise you next year if San Jose is all of a sudden in the hunt for a wild card and Nashville is still scuffling around the bottom? It's not going to surprise me. Not when you give up a goaltender of that quality for nothing.
Yeah, for the trade and return will have to see how it fully plays out. But they still do have UC Saros, right? And
who is another year older.
I know 100%, and I think
another year
long term
overpaid.
it's going to hurt more. But they could get back like in the next couple of years and be a better if they at least still have Saros at least.
Right, but they are like.
But 10 years from now, they're going to be looking at
10 years,
5 years. Sure.
3 years from now, they're going to be sitting there going, well, we still have 5 years of UC Saros' contract, and he is currently being outplayed by half the league. Like, it's bad. That's all it is. If you are Nashville, after watching Askarov play for the San Jose Sharks, that's bad. That is just bad roster management.
The ugly for me this weekend goes back to Friday. Matt Rempe. Awful hit. Stupid hit. The guy, if I'm not mistaken, I've seen now 9 ejections in 22 career NHL games. Gets an 8-game suspension rightfully. That hit, just straight up, I haven't seen that hit in the National Hockey League in a number of years. The guy is looking at the boards, at the glass, and you feel like that's a good time to go hit him. There's just... I knew we were going to get to this when he was getting all the praise for all the fights he had at the start of his career. Like, look at this guy. He's basically been like a 90s player that's now into the 2020s of hockey. And those players just don't last here. They don't bring anything to this game. They don't bring anything to your teams. And that's just an awful hit. And he got 8 this time. Next time it should be even higher. Because there will be a next time. That's the thing. He'll get back in the lineup, and there'll be a next time he's going to do something stupid again. And that's my ugly though from the weekend. It's just an awful hit.
That ugly can just be put on the entire New York Rangers right now.
Yeah.
They're just lost, right? Rempe's supposed to come in and give them the spark they've been missing, and instead he just continues with their woes.
Yeah, that's how bad you are if the Rempe's the spark you're looking for to turn things around.
My ugly. Right now it's Chris Pronger and the rest of the Team Canada management group because Zach Hyman, Darnell Nurse, and Stuart Skinner are making your decision-making process look very ugly right now. As soon as they named that team, all 3 of those players have absolutely transformed their games and are making them look like absolute schmucks. Like, can you imagine right now not having Zach Hyman on your roster for Team Canada at the Four Nations? It seemed ridiculous when they made the choice, but at least then you could be like, well, he's in a bit of a slump. However, he did just score 50 goals and also add another, how many, was it 15 in the playoffs? Like in the most important games that you're supposed to be playing in, all this guy does is produce. And you've got a Darnell Nurse who is an absolute horse right now, especially yesterday's game when everyone on the team is kind of not having it. Darnell Nurse had it in spades. He shut down everything. I've never seen a guy playing better, cooler minutes than Darnell Nurse right now. And then Stu Skinner, like, I know you like your Montembeault, and I do too. I think he's got a top-end game. But Stuart Skinner he's looking like Stuart Skinner again. Like, this is, Team Canada has a lot of regrets when it comes to this Oilers roster right now. And it is looking ugly for Chris Pronger and crew. I don't know if they get an opportunity for the Olympic roster with the one that they've just named. Right? Like, if you're Hockey Canada...
Well, they already know who the GMs are for 26.
Do they? Okay.
Doug Armstrong, because Doug Armstrong's not the official guy for this, but they have the whole GMs and stuff in place for 26.
Doug Armstrong needs to get his head on straight because the process whatever process they used to name this roster, they better crumple that up and throw it in the garbage heap because they screwed up.
Tommy, though, did say that he felt that they were playing under the pressure of the roster, and he was, at the time when the announcement was made, he did say he wouldn't be surprised if they start playing better, because now that pressure's off of them. And maybe the pressure of the Four Nations got to those players throughout the start of the season.
I think it was just maybe Stanley Cup hangover.
Sure, maybe it's just all a coincidence, but Tommy did say that, and since that happened, they have been playing better. That Tommy might have been onto something.
Recency bias is the wildest thing. We all know that we are all susceptible to it, but we should also know that we're all susceptible to it. And so we should be using not the most recent stats to make these decisions.
The flip side, though, is for Oiler fans, your guys aren't at Four Nations, so they get arrested in February.
No, this is all good news for the Edmonton Oilers.
It's better for the Edmonton Oilers.
This is all good news for the Edmonton Oilers.
Keep those texts coming in. We're live in the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio. where they have the festive family box featuring 4-piece signature chicken, 4 tenders, 4 regular sides, and 4 biscuits with an option for a 4-drink bundle.
We know there's a dog somewhere that just perked up.
Biscuits. Matt Iwanyk, Will Fraser, YouTube Trev with you here on the Nielson Show. When we come back, it will be the second hour of the show, which features Mike Tanier. We will talk some NFL with Mike, because we haven't talked any NFL yet. But up next, our hockey insider, Darren Dreger for Pro M Sports here on Edmonton Sports Talk. But first, here's a YouTube Trev Sports Update.
Christmas came early for the Oilers as they head into the holiday stretch with the win over the Ottawa Senators by the score of 3-1. Thanks to goals from Victor Arvidsson, Zach Hyman, and Adam Henrique, the Oilers will be back in action Saturday the 28th to take on the LA Kings. 4 other games around the NHL last night, including the Ducks getting past the Hockey Club 5-4 in a shootout. The Panthers double up on the Lightning 4-2. Washington beats the Kings 3-1. And the Colorado Avalanche get past the Kraken by the score of 5-2. Today, 13 games around the NHL before their Christmas break, including a pair of matinees, which will see the Jets and Leafs battle it out, and the New Jersey Devils taking on the New York Rangers. Tonight in the NFL, the 10-4 Green Bay Packers take on the 5-9 New Orleans Saints to wrap up Week 16. Kickoff for that one at 6:15. And in the association, the struggles continue in the 6 as the 7-22 Toronto Raptors fall to the Houston Rockets yesterday by the score of 114-110. The Raptors are back in action today as they look to snap their 7-game losing streak against the New York Knicks. Tip-off for that one is at 5:30. The Sports Update brought to you by Green Plan, providing you with award-winning environmental and consulting services, whether it's municipal, industrial, or residential. Plan it right with Green Plan. Visit greenplan.com or give them a call at 780-455-4292.
The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Hey, just let me know when he's ready. Let me know when he's ready. 7:05, this is the Nielson Show with Lieutenant Eric. I am not Lieutenant Eric, nor am I Dustin Nielsen. Well, Fraser's not Lieutenant Eric or Dustin Nielsen. YouTube Trev is always here, so at least that 1/3 of the show is here, but it is the Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric. But Matt Iwanyk, Will Fraser with you here on your clear choice for Edmonton sports. We're minutes away from Darren Dreger, Pro M Sports Hockey Insider from TSN, joining us. We still have Mike Tanier to come this hour. We got Ryan Rishaug in the third hour of the show. We also need a text of the day. A winner for an A&W GC. Haven't got one yet. Haven't gotten a text of the day candidate, I would say, just yet. So get those in, 780-218-9999. Look, it's Festivus too, so if you have a grievance, whatever, send those in. If you have anything, you could talk some NFL with us. Will was just telling me, as Trevor's doing a sports update,
can't believe we haven't
talked any NFL, especially the Ravens and Steelers as of yet.
It was the game of the weekend.
I don't know, that Eagles-Commanders game yesterday was something else.
It was very good too, but honestly, that was a phenomenal football game, and your team put the gas pedal down at the end of it. It was wild. It was a convincing win, a really, really good win.
Yeah, so how are they going to crush me in the playoffs?
Well,
they'll go and they'll win a game in the playoffs, and they'll find you just never
on the one again.
Well, actually, it won't be. It'll be a Justin Tucker missed kick this year.
Yeah,
that's what it's going to come down to. There's going to be a moment where Justin Tucker, we're going to go, and it's going to be like, I don't have confidence this year, and then he's going to miss, and you just be like, of all the things, the 1 year that like.
Tell you what, if I'm the Chiefs, that's the team that scares me the most.
The Ravens?
Yeah.
They're due. I'm one of those people that believes that, like, if the Oilers take on the Kings, I'm worried for the Oilers this year because I feel like the Kings would be due.
Really?
Yes.
Well, only because they're due. Like, because Because track record tells you Kings don't have a chance.
Has nothing to do with track record.
Yeah.
It is strictly like to beat the same team 4 years in the first round.
But that's what we said last year, right? Like we said that last year.
But I didn't trust the Kings last year for it. Going to a 4, that would be the one thing I'd be like, I don't know, guys. This one's a little worrisome. Let's get to them right now. We have our Hockey Insider from TSN, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialist. Gear up for game day. Oilers jerseys, headwear, hoodies, and hats from Fanatics New Era 47. Mitchell and Ness in stock now, located in Edmonton at the corner of St. Albert Trail, 128th Ave, online at proamsports.ca. It is Darren Dreger with us here, and Darren, you're with Matt Iwanyk and Will Fraser here, and the Edmonton Oilers, they're now in their Christmas break. I know we've got a busy slate in the NHL, but the Oilers, they're done until next Saturday in the month of December, 8-2. Darren, if for Jeff Jackson and Stan Bowman, I know we're still a bit away for the trade deadline, but with this recent play of the Edmonton Oilers, has this shifted what they would be looking at of trying to improve this team, where their focus might be? Because like as of right now, there's not a lot of holes that you would look at when it comes to this Edmonton Oilers team with how they've been playing.
No, that's fair, and I don't know that their position on wanting to improve is shifted here, or areas that might be perceived as areas of concern. But I think the team as a whole and how well they've played from the crease out has maybe given them another example of how patient you need to be. And, go back to the start of the year and things look porous, especially on the blue line with the changes that were made in the offseason. And I recall having exchanges with Stan Bowman where he was preaching patience and saying, look, it's not our 5, 6, 7 defense that is causing us issues here. It's the fact our top players just aren't playing up to that level, up to their standard. And now you see across the board, whether it's, on defense, the play of Darnell Nurse, which has been much improved this year, or how they've gelled together up front and what looks to me to be fairly consistent goaltending. I think that is truly the recipe for their success. And it's a big part of the reason why Bowman and company felt like everybody just needed to pump the brakes out of the gate, just knowing and believing that the group would find its way to come together.
Yeah, there's a professionalism to this hockey club right now that we thought we saw it last year, but it's only this year that it's been confirmed that they have reached that next level of elite hockey clubs that only experience and wins and games played can get you to, can it?
Yeah, that's fair. And I know that the group was weary, grew tired of the questions around the possibility of a Stanley Cup final hangover. And, then you add to that, of course, the mountain of disappointment that went along with losing Game 7. And, the players pushed back at the start of the regular season. The coaching staff said, hey, that's history. Let's focus on what we need to do. But doesn't it feel like mentally, maybe emotionally, they needed to get through a stretch of regular season games where, they were able to bury that. And then they recognized, okay, an 82-game regular season is a long grind. And all it does is qualify you for another crack at the Stanley Cup, which, of course, is the Stanley Cup playoffs. And now that they're in that mode, they realize how tough it is, how hard it is, and how long the National Hockey League 82-game schedule actually is. But I think that does come with that level of elite play, professionalism, and just having the experience of the investment required emotionally and physically to get to that Game 7. And, you don't know it until you experience it and how hard it is to get there. And maybe that's kind of, where they've leveled off in a positive way. Just realizing that, okay, we're not even at the halfway point of the season, but we know what it takes to get to that Game 7. So let's just focus on that and doing everything individually that we have to do to make the team as a whole better.
Is that maturity and professionalism in play in Dallas right now? Because I got to tell you, every time I look at those standings, they don't make sense. Dallas was supposed to be way better than they are right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. At the start of the year, I would have picked the Dallas Stars to be right up there with the Edmonton Oilers, the Vegas Golden Knights. Colorado always seems to be in that discussion. And then you do have to look the other Canadian teams, Winnipeg, just Vancouver, I guess, comes to mind. And Vancouver of late has gone through its share of struggles and concerning events as well. But I thought Dallas was going to be a top contender in the West. And there's still time for that to come together, obviously, but it's just interesting the stories that seem to be lagging in Dallas. And, I think the year that Jason Robertson had last year, and then the struggles offensively that he seems to be dealing with this year, and I single him out, but you can go down the list of a number of the Dallas Stars players that have struggled to a degree. So I think based on coaching and, again, the level of experience the Stars have, that they're going to be fine, but they're a long way away from contending for the conference title at this stage. So work to be done for sure.
We're with Darren Dreger of TS Santa Pro Sports Hockey Insider. Darren, when we get through the roster freeze here in the National Hockey League, come back from Christmas, which team's more likely to make a bigger, significant organizational move, whether it be with management or coach or just a significant trade? Would it be the Buffalo Sabres or the Nashville Predators?
Or the Vancouver Canucks.
Okay.
And I guess I throw Vancouver in there only because of the history of Jimmy Rutherford, and by extension now as general manager, Patrick Allvin, and the stuff we're reading coming out of Vancouver. And we know that the Canucks are real eager to land a top four defense. And historically speaking, Jimmy likes to get that type of work done as early as possible, but he has to have a fit. There's got to be a partner, and maybe that's Buffalo, right? I don't think that there's an imminent firing in Buffalo. That doesn't seem likely given the messaging that we got from Terry Pegula after his visit with the club in Montreal. He went there to just show support and to assure the players that he believes in them, that the answers are there internally for them to figure it out. So if the general manager, Kevin Adams, is safe, then he too is looking to make not a splashy trade. The trade has to make sense, and it's got to make the Buffalo Sabres better both now and longer term. And as Kevin has explained it to me, he's not afraid to trade off a top player. So you can pick any player you want there. I mean, Bo Byram's name seems to be servicing the most, but there are other pieces. Dylan Cousins' name has been speculated. The young Jack Quinn seems unlikely given his pedigree and the expectation what his future might look like. My point is, Adams is willing to make a fairly significant trade. He just needs top players coming back as part of that. And that's why, again, I do want to connect to Vancouver. And, when the rumors surfaced, what was it, a week, 10 days ago, of, could it be Elias Pettersson? Could it be JT Miller? Could it be somebody like that that's part of a trade? The denials were swift, and they were from the highest office in Vancouver. This isn't happening. Well, you fast forward, and here we are with the Vancouver Canucks again. So I would look at those two teams for sure, and as you mentioned, Nashville as being among the most obvious.
Many, many, many years ago in this town, we saw a player by the name of Rafi Torres become a difference maker in a playoff series, and he was a hell of a hockey player on the ice. But with time, his style of play just did not mesh with the NHL anymore. And it took a while, but at a certain point, the NHL decided you can't be a part of this league with the way that you play. How far away are we with Matt Rempe and a very similar situation?
Very similar. And it does feel like there's almost an intervention required here. And that would seem obvious when you look at his most recent suspension, now an 8-gamer. I mean, that is a big number for any player. And it's only going to get bigger if Matt Rempe doesn't find a way to clean up his game, whether it's the timing of his hits. I mean, go down the list, right? Or is it just part of the organization, the New York Rangers, where, they're just going to have to invest more time poring over tape, getting him counsel from some of the experienced players in New York. I mean, they had one of the best hitters in the league in Jake Trouba, and he was forced out of New York. So it's just, look, Rempe is a good kid, and he wants to do right. He wants to be a full-time NHL player, but he can't do it this way. That's abundantly obvious. And, I know many who pay closer attention to the American League than I do who say he's relatively quiet in the AHL. you know, he can skate, and he's, you know, trying to improve his hockey skills, but you don't see him running around for the most part in the American Hockey League the way we do in the NHL. So he's going to have to clean that up. Otherwise, there won't be a place for him in the NHL moving forward.
Darren, are you all set for Christmas? Anywhere last-minute Christmas shopping need to be done? You got that stays it late, and what's on tap for Christmas for the Dreger household?
Well, the kids are home, which is nice. So yeah, it'll be relatively quiet, you know, because the World Junior and, you know, Bobby Mack handles those duties, but I stick to the NHL, so we can't really go too far. So we stay here in Ontario, but the family is here. I'm actually racing out the door, which is why I couldn't join you guys normally on camera, because I've got to pick up one last-minute Christmas gift, and I got to drive all the way downtown Toronto to get it. So that's my focus.
What are you doing? Oh,
I know, it's just insanity, but it meshes with the day, because the Winnipeg Jets are in Toronto, and we've got Jets Leafs regionally on TSN this afternoon. So
good game, by the way.
One more day at work, and then I'll rest for a couple.
Yeah, really good game. What do you hope? Like, it's interesting. Leafs and Oilers have identical records right now. So what are you expecting to see? This is a really good matchup from two teams that they shouldn't have a rivalry, but for whatever reason, there feels like there's a bit of a rivalry between these two.
Yeah, there is, and maybe it's the Ontario presence. You know, I know anytime Mark Scheifele is here, he wants to do well, and normally he does. And look, I mean, it was the Toronto Maple Leafs that manhandled the Winnipeg Jets to end their ridiculous start to the season. What were they, 15-1 in that game?
Yeah.
And then lost to the Leafs. No Austin Matthews again for Toronto this afternoon, though. So there's a bit of a hole, and clearly they've got some goaltending question marks with Anthony Stolar sidelined with injuries. So it's not going to be a tap-in for the Maple Leafs, but I hear you. Anytime these two teams play, there's always some shenanigans out there. So looking forward to it.
Well, Darren, appreciate the time as always. To you and yours, a very Merry Christmas, and we'll catch up with you next week.
You bet. Happy holidays to everybody. Thanks, and best in the new year.
There's Darren Dreger, Pro-Am Sports Hockey Insider from TSN. This is the Nielson Show presented by South Fort Chevrolet. Reserve your 2025 Equinox Trax and Traverse now. They also got a bunch of 2025 Silverado Customs with payments as low as $199 bi-weekly. See dealer for details, southfortchev.com. We got to get to the Coolbet hotline of the day. The hotline of the day hit on Friday, I want to say. The Curtis Rourke 200-plus yards touchdown Notre Dame covering. That hit. Just
I've convinced you to be a sicko like me.
This isn't the Coolbet hotline of the day.
Come on!
I'm not making it the hotline of the day. I got something else for the hotline of the day.
You don't want people to make thousands of dollars with zero risk?
So... Zero. It's almost zero risk.
Well, tell them the bet that you made.
Well, that's what I'm going to do. So I am a weird person. I don't like weird cents in my account with Coolbet. So I actually do enjoy wasting away. You can make a bet as low as 10 cents on Coolbet.
Yeah, like if you've gotten a payout that's given you like 78 cents. Right?
It's just weird having some, at least like I want even in quarters. 25, 50, 75 and stuff. But you could bet as low as 10 cents. So sometimes
they
you could
call
sit
you
there.
neurodiverse now.
Sure.
That would be the better way to describe you.
But Will, before the show, you tell me you and Eric last week tried creating like...
Oh, we had a sicko bet.
So then I started making a sicko bet on the NHL today.
Yeah.
It's the Christmas miracle, Festivus miracle.
That's right.
Parlay here.
Yeah. If you believe in miracles, if you believe in Santa Claus, this is the bet for you.
This is it. It's plus 45,291. I put 24 cents on it.
These are my favorite parlays.
Which would pay out at $108.94.
Repeat that again. You have personally of your own money.
Of my own money, 24 cents.
You have bet 24 cents.
And I could win $108.94.
If it hits.
Which, if it hits, I get 94 cents to play with again on something like that.
That's right. Let it roll.
I don't need those 94 cents. We've got the Rangers money line to beat the Devils.
Okay.
Do it for Matt Rempe, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You got the Chicago Blackhawks, who I think have activated Peter Mrazek recently or something, against the Minnesota Wild.
There you go.
You've got the Buffalo Sabres to end their losing streak.
That's right.
Against the New York Islanders.
Yep.
You got the San Jose Sharks After a good game against the Edmonton Oilers.
This one actually might hit.
Going against the Vancouver Canucks in Vancouver, who, hey, look, I'm throwing out Darren. Who's going to make a move? Buffalo or Nashville? Yeah. And he's the one that goes,
or Vancouver.
Keep an eye on Vancouver.
Yeah, and I think he's right.
You got the Anaheim Ducks in Vegas to take on the Golden Knights. Golden Knights are ready for a break. They're just ready for Christmas.
Yeah. They've already gotten into the Christmas cheer.
And you got those Nashville Predators home to the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah.
Plus 45,291.
If you follow Maddie, do you have a quarter? Like look in your console in your vehicle right now. You got a quarter in there? You could make how much? 100?
Well, it'd be a little more.
Yeah, because you're only doing.
Because I'm only 24 cents.
Yeah.
$108.94.
$108 off of a quarter.
Is there, in the end, go find one bottle, one can on the side of the road.
Exactly.
And boom, 10-cent bet for you. Yeah. So there's our wild one.
That's a great sicko bet. I love that bet. It all
starts at 11 o'clock. Rangers Devils. We'll know early today whether I'm paying attention to 5 more hockey games later tonight.
Oh, man, I hope you're there. I hope you're there at 7 o'clock tonight going, oh, my God.
Well, I don't have a lot of plans to watch. What's the last game of this schedule? Ducks, Golden Knights. But if at 8 o'clock Ducks Golden Knights matters, I'm all in on this one.
A 24-cent bet. That's a sicko bet right there.
Yes. So all the games are later tonight except the 11 o'clock Rangers Devils.
Okay, so what is your cool bet?
Because we're off for the next few days. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the World Juniors.
Okay.
And I'm not looking at Canada winning the World Juniors. Who knows what's going to happen? Canada will win their group, and they're in a group with Finland, USA, Germany, and Latvia. The big game is going to be Canada-US.
Man, when your NHL team is a good NHL team, you really don't care about the World Juniors anymore. That's my experience. Where it used to be that Jordan Eberle, let's see what he can do. Go Canada, go. And now it's kind of I'm good. May the best team win. I don't care.
I've got Canada win the group plus 110. A nice little thing to go to. The tournament's hard. We'll see. We don't know who there's always those weirdness that happens at these tournaments.
Yep.
Winning this group, basically, you're saying who's going to win between Canada and the USA when these two teams meet in the round stage.
Yep.
My Coolbet hotline is Canada's team plus 110. They're going to win the group.
The New Year's Eve game is what you're.
Yes.
Is what you're thinking of.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm assuming at that time, those odds could change when Canada US meet. If Canada's playing well, you're not getting them at plus 110 to beat the US in that game. So early, you're kind of taking a little early bet on that big game of Canada-USA. So my hotline of the day, it's a little bit longer wait for it to pay off by Canada winning their group at plus 110. To get into that, you click on the World Juniors, and then it's under the futures for the World Juniors. Not player specials, but the futures. I need to get to the Century Casino Monday Night Football Challenge. Century Casino, where every day is game day. You could head down to watch the NFL game. Eric's obviously not there, but you could still go to Century to watch the game today with their wall of TVs. Monday's
especially
daily
if you're
special.
chasing a 24-cent bet.
If you're
that's where you want to set up.
Put up all these games, please. Got my 24 cents riding on this. What's Loaded Burger, I believe, is their Monday daily special. But what do I have for today? The NFL Monday Nighter. It is the Saints and the Packers. The Packers minus 14 favorites in this one.
Maybe should be higher.
Text us. Packers minus 14 or Saints to cover. If you are right, you'll go into a draw. We'll get in touch with somebody next week because we're not here tomorrow, but we'll get in touch with somebody next week to say that they did win the $25 gift certificate to a Century Casino. But that's the Monday night challenge. Packers, Saints, Packers minus 14 on the spread in this one. And Rip City. Oh, Dave going, when this hits, it will be amazing. Won't it? Won't it? Honestly, that should be every day we should just be finding a 10-cent bet.
Yeah, a sicko bet.
And all it needs is he needs to hit once for the year, and you're way plus money.
Right.
Tube Socks, this is amazing news. I thought the $1 was the minimum bet on Coolbet. My account balance has been 34 cents since last March.
Let it ride.
I'm placing bets today, baby. Hey, you could do over 3 bets there.
Yeah.
You got enough money for 3 bets there.
Bets. Yeah.
Boom. Or you could just go all in on a 34-cent bet, or you could go. I guess what would it be? A 10, a 14-cent bet, a 10-cent bet, and a 10-cent bet. Increase the odds of one of those.
That's right.
But Rip City Step, this is where we're at for the best text of the day right now.
Okay.
It's not good. But this is where we're at. If you want that GC to A&W, Rip City comes in.
It's beatable.
Well, he's got two of them.
Okay.
You got to beat one of these two. Iwanyk's better than Dusty at Tecmo. Facts is that I have the trophy, so that is true. Will and Trev have better hair than Tommy. Hashtag text of the day from Rip City Step.
Now, are you just trying
true.
to hurt Tommy's feelings?
No, I'm trying to get people to get in on this text of the day.
Like,
I agree, Rip.
I don't disagree.
That's a
like,
good
I
one,
don't
Rip.
disagree about it, but I know that hurts.
Look at that head of hair.
That could hurt Tommy.
Yeah, that
And
would hurt.
I don't want to hurt
Tommy's
Tommy.
not listening.
It's good. Yeah, but somebody is, and they'll send it to him. They'll let him know.
I like Rip City's text.
He also had another one I saw late, or like after I was going to read that. Where was it? Because he's entering. Trev is a great young man. Hashtag text of the day.
Terrible.
So there you go. And Atif, Maddie, if the line hits tonight, don't spend your $108 all in one place. Spread it out. Atif, do you know how many bets I can make for $108 at 10
cent bets. I can. Yeah. This is how it starts. Isn't
I've got 450 24 cents. 24 cents bets I can make after that. I might have to start doing that a little bit. It's only 6 games. 6 games have to hit. And there you go. We have to get to that's good for the Italian Center.
That's good.
We got to get to Mike Tanier from Pro Am Sports. He's with Too Deep Zone to talk some NFL. We got to fit in the fan zone.
Fan zone.
That's all to come in the next 30 minutes of the Nielsen Show. Oh, is that Mike Tanier there? So what we'll do Sports Center update. We'll come back. We'll speak to Mike. Then we'll get to that's good and the fan zone
That's good.
here on the Nielsen Show. I'm Matt Iwanyk. He's Will Fraser. That's YouTube Trev. You're listening to Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Mike Tanier just after this sports update by YouTube Trev.
Christmas game early for the Oilers as they head into the holiday stretch with a win over the Ottawa Senators by the score of 3-1, thanks to goals from Victor Arvidsson, Zach Hyman, and Adam Henrique. The Oilers will be back in action Saturday the 28th to take on the LA Kings. 4 other games around the NHL last night, including the Ducks getting past the Hockey Club 5-4 in a shootout. The Panthers double up on the Lightning 4-2. Washington beats the Kings 3-1, and the Colorado Avalanche get past the Kraken by the score of 5-2. Today, 13 games around the NHL before their Christmas break, including a pair of matinees, which will see the Jets and Leafs battle it out, and the New Jersey Devils taking on the New York Rangers. Tonight in the NFL, the 10-4 Green Bay Packers take on the 5-9 New Orleans Saints to wrap up Week 16. Kickoff for that one is at 6:15. And in the association, the struggles continue in the 6th as the 7-22 Toronto Raptors fall to the Houston Rockets yesterday by the score of 114-110. The Raptors are back in action today as they look to snap their 7-game losing streak against the New York Knicks. Tip-off for that one is at 5:30. The sports update is brought to you by dealer principal Mitchell Wickie and the great staff at Park Mazda, your dealer for life.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
The Nielsen Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
tuned in to the Nielson Show with Lieutenant Eric, but I'm Matt Iwanyk. He's Will Fraser alongside YouTube Trev. We got Ryan Rishaug from Got Your Back, or the Got Your Back Monday morning mandate of TSN. He's coming up in the final hour of the show. Kind of easy trivia. Will is just giving me the questions. We've got 3 questions too many for Park Mazda. Lots to get to in the third hour, as well as the A&W text of the day to give away in the wrap. We are live in the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio, where you can get the festive family box featuring 4-piece signature chicken, 4 tenders, 4 regular sides, and 4 biscuits. In store right now. Let's talk some national football. Oh, look at him. He's all Christmas and festive. It is Mike Tanier, our Pro-Am Sports Football Insider. Brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialist. Check out the collection from tokens and icons which transform NFL, NHL, MLB game-used items into wallets, bottle openers, and cufflinks. Located in Edmonton in the corner of St. Albert Trail at 128th Ave. Online, proamsports.ca. You can catch his stuff out at miketanier.substack.com. 2 Deep Zone. We bring in Mike Tanier here on the Nielson Show. You're with Matt and Will, Mike, and let's look back. Week 16 of the National Football League season. What was the biggest takeaway for you from this past weekend in the NFL?
Well, I'm based here in Philadelphia, where the Eagles suffered a shocking upset and a potential calamity in that Jalen Hurts suffered a concussion in the first quarter of the game. He's now in protocol. Eagles have not yet clinched the NFC East. They were in the running for the first round bye. They could have possibly gotten past the Lions. Now that seems like that's hopeless. NFC East in jeopardy. Eagles face a tough Cowboys team next week, and they don't know Hurts' status, and they don't know backup quarterback Kenny Pickett's status because he had a rib injury late in that game. So the Eagles were flying high, and suddenly it wouldn't be Christmas in Philadelphia without a little bit of Eagles drama, and boy, did they deliver a lot of it yesterday.
With that game, though, like the Washington Commanders, they're 10-5 on this season. Did Jaden Daniels lock up Rookie of the Year last night?
Yeah,
or yesterday?
I just checked the odds. He's minus 20,000. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a 5-touchdown performance. It was. I mean, one of the touchdowns was at the end. That's literally correct, by the way. It's minus 20,000. So you can take that out. Yeah, he's had a. He's had a phenomenal season. You know, there was a little bit of a blip in the middle of it. There's going to be a little blip in rookie seasons. He makes good decisions. He runs the ball well. He was distributing the ball to guys besides Terry McLaurin yesterday. Fabulous game. And frankly, there's no other contenders. Caleb Williams went out there and kind of laid an egg, and Bo Nix laid an egg on Thursday night.
Caleb Williams is living his own Dumb and Dumber experience going, so you're saying there's a chance.
It's Dumb and Dumber, but the problem is he's only got one coach trying to coach the entire team right now. So, at the end of the game, they're down by 2 scores and they're punting. They're just completely confused by the end of that. And it's like, get to the end of the season for Caleb Williams, please.
Saturday felt like a playoff preview to me in that Steelers-Ravens was a gem until the end when the Ravens put the gas pedal down and the Chiefs just keep on winning. But if I'm the Chiefs, that Ravens team maybe worries me a little bit, the way that they're playing football right now.
Yeah, I was checking some of the analytics from Aaron Schatz, DVOA, and the Ravens have the 4th best offense in the NFL of the last 40 years. That's how good their offense is. And you see it when they hand off to Derrick Henry on first down, and it's like a 13-yard run, just like nothing. Now, they have all these problems. They commit a million penalties. Justin Tucker's been having a slump. Their defense, it'll be like 4th and 23. It's almost guaranteed to go up a first down on 4th and 23. Their defense has a real problem with that. But when they're clicking, when they're not getting in their own way, the Ravens, not the Chiefs and not the Bills, are the best team in the AFC.
The Buffalo Bills, they do get past the New England Patriots, but it was a lot closer than most would have expected in that one. Is that just a one-off, or is that a sign of maybe, the Bills have anything to be concerned with?
Their run defense isn't great, so if you can stay in the game against them, you can get, and that's what the Patriots are doing, getting 5, 6, 7-yard runs up the middle, maybe dump it to your running back, not at the goal line on a backwards lateral, but dump it to him on a screen, and maybe you can get a 15, 20-yard gain. That said, I think the Bills' biggest problem is they are slow starters. There's been a couple of first quarters where weeks ago against the Cardinals, they gave up a couple of scores in the first quarter. There are a few other games. they have to be quicker starters, because if you give up a bunch of points to the Chiefs in the first quarter or the Ravens in the first quarter, they can snowball against you, and that's one of the things the Bills really have to solve. Other than that, still one of the strongest teams in the conference, obviously.
Is there any truth to this Jared Allen story, the broken hands, or is that just Bills fans trying to troll the Jets even more? Like, it just feels like they're just trying to rub salt in the wound.
I believe they're trying to rub salt in the wounds, but no, I have not heard anything about that. I haven't really been looking. There's a lot of Jet stories right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Jet stories. I haven't been looking into that one.
Do you think Woody Johnson actually looked at the Madden rating and stopped the Jerry Jeudy trade?
I think his sons did. I honestly 100% said, I can't imagine Woody Johnson playing Madden. For the life of me, I cannot picture him sitting down with a PS5 controller. Cal McNair of the Texans, I can picture him doing it. I can't picture Woody Johnson doing it. But Brick Johnson and all these kids who are running around acting like they own the team, yes, they got that information. They probably gave it to their dad in a way that made sense to him. And yeah, Joe Douglas was probably living in banana pants land for a couple of years with Aaron Rodgers in 1 year and the 20-year-old nitwit sons of the owner in the other year. He must have been the happiest man in the world to ever get fired. Let's put it that way.
We got our first look at Michael Penix Jr. as the starting quarterback in the NFL with the Atlanta Falcons. What did you make of what you saw from him in his first start yesterday?
It was very good, and he was not getting a lot of help from his receivers. His receivers were dropping passes early in that game, and they were missing field goals, etc. But who gave him a lot of help? The defense, 2 defensive touchdowns. Who else gave him a lot of help? Bijan. Bijan was out there cranking out 6, 7, 8-yard runs, catching screen passes and going with it. So very encouraging from Michael Penix. He didn't have to do a lot, but this Falcons team looked energized. And this Falcons team has not looked energized since, 2017. I don't know when the last time the Falcons looked really energized. I think it was the second quarter of a Super Bowl a few years back. And that's important there because Penix has room to grow. He's got a good running game. The defense seems to be coming around, and the Falcons are right back in it. They've got a chance to control their own fate if they can go out there against the Commanders and deliver an upset next week.
Okay, so everyone just looks at the Detroit Lions and thinks this is the best team in the NFC. It's theirs to lose. But you got the Vikings, who have the exact same record as the Detroit Lions, and if both those two teams win this upcoming weekend, they meet in the final game of the season with the division on the line. Are we to take the Vikings for real with their record now?
We have to take them for real. We have to look at them and say, them and the Lions and the Eagles still, because, again, that game was kind of injury impacted to a degree, are the class of this conference. Remember, the Vikings also have a big Packers game coming up. The Packers are very strong, so we'll learn a little bit more there. Vikings are incredibly impressive. Gut check victory. They got a big performance from Justin Jefferson, and it's been weeks since Justin Jefferson broke out. He carried them a little bit when they needed it. Defense forced a lot of turnovers. Tough game on the road against Seattle. But I'll say this. The Lions are now slipping and falling on purpose in games just to mess with their opponents. So
What a play. What an absolute brilliant play.
When Jared Goff said, well, the original plan was to fumble on purpose, but I said I wasn't comfortable with that. Good. Don't tell them. Don't give them ideas. We're going to fumble on purpose because we're the Lions and we can get away with this nonsense. No, that was carried away, but that play was brilliant. That's where they're at. They're in this different plane of existence where they're trying to experiment with new football ideas that you might have tried on the playground when you were 8. So don't count them out. Vikings are very strong. Lions remain the team to beat.
We've got Packers. We've got Saints tonight. We have it as Packers minus 14 favorites going into this one. Any reason to watch this football game tonight?
It might snow, right? I didn't check the weather report. If it snows, it's tackle in the snow in Green Bay. That's a reason to watch it. But yeah, and if it snows, I don't trust that 14-point spread. That's my only advice.
The forecast I have is 5% for today.
Then never mind. Then never mind. It's Festivus. It's Christmas Eve. Pour a coquito, pour an eggnog, and watch It's a Wonderful Life instead.
Do you have any grievances to air on this Festivus?
The officiating in the Eagles game is my grievance, and my feat of strength was getting out of bed this morning.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, hope you have a wonderful Christmas and a happy holidays upcoming. We will speak with you next week and enjoy the next few days and the football this upcoming weekend.
You got it. Take care and enjoy the holidays.
Thanks, Mike.
Mike Tanier with, the Pro-Am Sports.
So you're saying
NFL
there's a chance.
Insider. He's with his Substack, MikeTanier.substack.com at 2 Deep. So go read his stuff. Go check it out.
I am
he is
living
great.
that right now. So you're saying there's a chance.
Is Coolbet had any of those odds up for the futures? No, I don't see any futures right now. Do you know how much? So for those that don't know betting, minus 20,000. How does that work? I'm trying to remember because it's. You would have to bet $20,000 to win 100.
Yeah.
$100. $100.
Yeah.
That's how that works. You have to drop $20,000 to win $100.
Yep.
Do you know what that isn't? That's not a plus 45,291 bet. I'll tell you that much right now. Boom.
That's what you'll put your 94 cents towards. Betting against him.
Betting against them?
Yeah, when this bet hits,
I'll take the 94 cents and bet on Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Because why not? Why not? We got to get to that's good for the Italian Center, and then we got to jump into the fan zone. That's good. Hand-stretched, house-made dough, top of their signature sauce, best ingredients from their deli. The hard work's done for you. Just throw them into the oven, and you look like a hero in 10 minutes.
That's good.
So I am not Dustin Nielson, as I've said quite a few times today. But I'm going to do something for Dusty today.
Okay.
Dusty and I are in the same fantasy football league. The Spite League, as everyone here is
aware of.
It
It is
of.
spiteful.
You all know of the Spite League. And Dusty was in the semifinals.
Are we sure this is a that's good, or is this that's not good?
No, this is good for Dusty.
For Dusty, yes.
This is for Dusty, and I'm here to
But the person's whose heart he ripped out of their chest while still beating.
Doesn't matter. Dusty won't
and showed it to him.
Dusty doesn't get to be on air this week. He's not on air next week. The finals coming up next week. Spoiler alert. There's something to talk about after the finals as well coming up. So somebody's got to talk for Dusty. Yeah. And I will do it. Dusty... It was in the semifinals this week. Again, and for those that...
The Fantasy League.
Which is a 16-team 5-keeper.
That's a for-real league, man.
This is a tough league.
Yeah.
He went up against the guy who put up...
So once again, it's a 16... So scoring is not easy when you have players spread out that much.
Spread out that much. When you get to the draft, it's like no players because they're all kept.
Yep.
And Dusty has, from the moment of the draft happening, he has been just anger in his eyes. Mm-hmm. Revenge is in his eyes. That's all he's been focused on. He has taken names and he's wanting to cross them off.
And he has.
And thankfully, I was
a serial killer.
And the one I was not part of the nefarious 9 that voted against him. I was not there. I wasn't against Dusty in any of this. He went up against the guy who put up 144 points this week.
Yeah.
That's an unbelievable
That should have you winning
week.
by 25 at least.
That's 144 is a ridiculous
in a 16-team league. Yeah, you're winning by 20, 25.
Lamar Jackson, 23 points. Achane, 27 points. Dell, 16 points before that tough injury. 24 points from the Falcons' defense. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable week.
Yep.
Dusty beat him by 20.
Right?
By 20.
How do you
164 points to 144. Dusty's off to the finals of his Spite League to finish this off, to accomplish what would be to me one of the greatest fantasy football stories ever to be told. I told Dusty in a text this weekend, this almost should be a 30 for 30 short. We may have to create our own documentary series here at EST and do full interviews with whoever we could get to talk about Dusty. 164 to 144 in his semifinal in the Spite League. That's good for Dustin Nielson. Now, the team he's going to go up against...
Like 300 combined points between the two of them. Like, was there any points left for the rest of the league?
Dusty left 46 points on his bench. He had 46 points on his bench still.
That's wild.
He had Deebo Samuel on his bench at 19 points.
That's wild.
The other match was 84-78. Dusty's bench was half of one of those teams.
I would be conspiring against him at this point. You said the nefarious 9. It should be at least 2 more people next year.
Just an utter like the one. Okay, so he's playing a team that actually has had a really good year and has put up a lot of points, but this weekend put up 84.
Wild.
Like it's. I usually, when this league, I'm out. I get knocked out. I'm done. I don't care.
Sure.
I don't throw it on.
You're a spectator now.
It comes off my phone, the app, until next year. I just don't care. But it was like, as I was watching the games, like, I wonder how Dusty's doing. And then he texts me, and he goes, I really want to win this one. And I just go, well, what's the score right now in your game? And and he's Dusty, so he wasn't that worried, but he gets slightly worried.
Sure.
And he's like, yeah, I'm up 114-97 right now. Projected to win 154-126. I was like, you're fine, dude. You're fine.
Yeah.
You're pretty good. He's like, I need Jaden Daniels to have a really good second half. Thank you for that, Trev. Big Yukos, that's amazing. It's unbelievable what Dusty's done.
You're right. He was leading by 30, and he still ignored his wife and kids for the rest of the day. Guys, I can't concentrate. I've got to make sure I win.
The thing with Dusty and spite, though, is it could also work against him in a way where, like, he could have tried too much and, like, ruined his team. But he then instead
he could have gone full Dusty, which is what he
got in his own way.
Yeah, exactly.
But instead, he built this amazing team at 164-144.
No, I've never
if you're
known,
the other team, there's nothing else you could do. You put up 144 points. You should go win this league yourself.
I've never known or worked with a guy who's better at fantasy than Dustin Nielson, and I've never known or worked with a guy who sabotages his own success in fantasy more than Dustin Nielson does.
It's absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Like, I don't know if anyone scored 164 points in our league all year.
Right.
We have 16 teams throughout. I think we play 13 weeks of the regular season.
You shouldn't be able to put up this kind of points.
I don't think anyone even got to 164 points in the regular season once. And in a semifinal, Dusty got up 164 points and still left 48 points on his bench. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I will keep you informed next week on what happens with Dusty and whether he gets that full victory lap when he returns. From the moment of Spite League, when it all started, he had one mission in mind. He is one step closer. He's on to the final boss, even though he is the final boss.
No, exactly. He's not on to he is. He always is.
That's good for the Italian Center. We got to get into the fan zone for Fans First. Fan Zone brought to you by Fans First.
Fan Zone.
By fans. For fans. No fees. Get your tickets to the Oilers at fansfirst.ca. Your text, get them in. 780-218-9999. Martin in the Fan Zone. Tommy's fans randomly yelling at Maddie at the supermarket about Tommy's hair has that gif of that lady from like the Housewives yelling.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything. This is what Rip City texted in. Yeah. Also, I don't usually read nice things about me, but I don't want to piss off a thief.
Oh.
I never read nice things about me.
Knock it off.
Since Rip City Step is complimenting everyone and is for the text today, how about this? Maddie, you're the guru of EST. You're the glue guy, not Jay. Well, Fraser, you're a very funny individual, and you make me laugh all the time. YTT, your stories and adventures are hilarious. You should write a phone book. That's from a thief.
Did he say you should write a phone book?
Yes.
All right.
Do you want to tell him the story about the phone book?
I have a slight growing up. Phone books were like kind of my thing. It was like my favorite thing ever. I couldn't wrap my head around it, and
it's nobody's thing. This isn't that. It's literally not a thing. What you're describing.
It was my thing. I like phone books. What can I say? They were fun. I like to read them. It just we didn't have DSs back then. I didn't have phones, but I did have a phone book. So I just love phone books. It was cool. Gager, I think, was on with Glue Guy, and they were just like, Trev, you probably don't even know what a phone book was or is. And I told them, yes, I do, actually.
So do you have a collection of phone books then?
No, but I did get a phone book for Christmas.
Would that
somebody gifted you one?
Yeah, VR Montenegro.
Would that be like a treasured, like if I found the 1987 New York City phone book, would you treasure that?
Yeah, it would be cool.
Yeah,
I like it. It was so cool. Like, I loved calling up my friends and be like, Mom, give me the phone book. And then she was like, okay. And I'd spend hours. I'd try to find my teachers, and all that.
Did your mom worry about you?
No, not at all. What's there to worry about?
Did your grandma worry about you?
No, she was like, Trevor in that phone book.
Your grandpa wrote you off, though, right?
Yeah, he's like, I don't like Trevor with the phone book.
I can't even deal with this kid right now.
Yeah, he wasn't too fond of me playing with my phone book. But yeah, the phone book is awesome.
Well, he's Trevor. He's up in his bedroom reading the phone book again.
So we could get the Southwestern Bell St. Louis, Missouri phone book, telephone directory, 1988 white pages.
Yeah.
Pre-owned. $71.72 plus $44.80 shipping on eBay right now.
Yeah, that's pretty pricey.
Who would buy that?
It's heavy.
Yeah, but who'd buy that?
Short people.
We could get the 1994
short people with short chairs.
That's a good point.
We could get the 1994 Bronx, New York telephone directory phone book, white and yellow pages, home and business.
Wow.
$290.
I do like them yellow pages.
Nice. Yes. You're a weird kid.
Yellow
dude.
or white pages?
No. Yellow.
Yellow all the way.
Oh yeah.
At the very end
Yes.
of phone books in Edmonton, we had the purple pages. Do you remember that, Maddie?
I don't remember the purple pages.
Like there was a competing business that came in and did their own directory, and I think it was called the Purple Pages.
Yeah, because that's like if what everyone wants is a different type of phone book.
Yeah.
We all know what we have.
But
we all know what we want.
I think it was one of those sort of pay to play, right? Where if you paid for more, you got preferential listing in the like plumbing category or whatever.
That's why you always needed, if you're a business, to have a letter closer to the A.
Well, exactly. It was basically it was Google before Google became a thing, right? Where you could get preferential listing rather than alphabetical.
Changing 100. We just changed 100.
Ralsta saying logged on for thumbs up to the phone book story.
Thank you.
Gold.
That's weird.
Just happened to be the 100th like. Also, Georgia Satellite, my best fantasy season ever this year, won the Kerfloat, which is the second Canadian football CFL fantasy league is out there. Not mine, the prestigious one. Finals in 4 of my 6 NFL leagues. Love it. Good job there, Kevin. Also, I do want to update people on our climb for subs.
Yeah.
So last week we were like 10-6-8 or something like that.
Yeah.
And
where are we at?
We were at 10-7-2 at the end of the show.
Yeah.
And then today I logged on and we're at 10-6-9-9.
So we lost subscribers.
Between yesterday, because I looked yesterday too, between yesterday and today we lost like 20 some subs.
How does that happen?
I don't know. We're up to 10.
What did those other shows do?
Well, the only other show we had on in that time was a post-game show.
Yeah. What did they do?
The Oilers won.
That's what I'm saying.
Tommy, Cass, and Hernan do? I don't know.
What did they do?
I have no idea.
They sewered us.
And so now we're 299 away. We have a day and a half basically left to get to 11,000. This would be a true Christmas miracle now if we get to 11,000, because then Dusty has to eat pickled herring, and right now Dusty's not going to have to eat pickled herring because 20-some of people figured I'm going to unsub all of a sudden.
Here's my hypothesis, is that the talk of it caused people to go and check and see if they were subscribed, and they were already subscribed, and so they clicked unsubscribe by accident.
Oh.
So once again, it is tricky because it will say that you are subscribed rather than subscribe.
Yes.
And I can understand you might get confused by this.
It's a common mistake.
It's a very common mistake. So just once again, if it already says subscribe, you're subscribed.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Emphasis on the duh.
And the duh. Yeah.
Yes.
But it was just like a rant, like 20. Like yesterday I looked.
Yeah.
I don't know. You said you looked yesterday, or did you look over the weekend?
Oh, yeah, I was keeping an eye on it.
Yeah. Like, and it was all of a sudden like 20 go away.
It feels like a panic click.
Dusty's concluding with YouTube here.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe it was Dusty that did it.
Dusty,
he was getting scared.
You know, he kicked off some subs probably. I don't know if you can do that, but he found them and he went unsub, because he doesn't want to get to the 11.
That would make the most sense. So we got to rally up Nafsies. Do what we do.
Come on.
Call your friends.
Yes. Once again,
and call
you're
more
probably
friends. Get a phone book. Call everyone.
Call everyone in the phone book.
Yes.
Go from A to Z.
Go to subscribe.
You're either off work right now, which means you've got the time, or you are having to work right now, which is what else should you be doing at work rather than this? Mm-hmm. Creating fake accounts, or I shouldn't say fake, multiple accounts.
Yeah, multiple accounts.
Multiple accounts, and just subscribing.
Honestly, if you're at the mall shopping, it's just everyone you're talking to. Like, hey, have you subscribed to EST?
It's true.
Like you're cashing
cashier,
out, you're talking to them. Oh, by the way, have you subscribed to EST?
When you're waiting in that line that is 58 people deep at Old Navy, you got plenty of time. It snakes back in on itself. Just to have conversations.
Talk to all those people.
Everyone's already on their phone anyways.
I will go get the pickled herring and do this, but we need your support. We need your support on this. We need you to go and sub.
Yeah, and if you're already subscribed, don't click anymore. Stop it.
Just create more accounts. What do we got here? Trev, tell Will about how worried you were about 2012. Oh, we don't get. I think I know that.
Not today, Rip. Not today.
That's the least surprising thing to me. Okay.
I love how there's just always like the next doomsday that's coming.
I think that John Cusack's onto something.
There was one like they always keep like when it doesn't happen like we got the math was on, we're missing the one. It's actually gonna be 2014, and then it happens and like it didn't happen, and then like they just keep pushing it down the road. When is the next doomsday?
Please don't tell me.
I gotta see list of predicted events. Let's see what we got for another one coming up here.
Oh God,
I don't have anything for future one. Somebody says in 2026. We're going to have an asteroid that collides with us. This is from the Messiah Foundation International.
I don't believe that. I'm not scared at that one. That's nothing
But
to worry about.
2012?
That was way different. It's a different time.
Isaac Newton, apparently, says in 2060.
Apparently.
Yeah, in an unpublished manuscript.
Right. It always is. It's always unpublished, isn't it?
Newton made a reference to the year 2060, which in 2004 was falsely reported by mainstream media as a date for the end of the world. Newton was actually predicting a date before which the world would definitely not end in order to calm people's fears about the apocalypse.
It'll definitely.
So nothing's going to happen before 2060.
Sounds like.
I'll be 80 then.
Sounds like 2061 is going to be a real bummer.
There's another thing. So there's not a lot of future predictions. So it's 2026, then 2060, and then 2129. So
I also have to say, what I like about that quote is you go, and mainstream media incorrectly. I remember mainstream media was all over this and really screwed it. What are we talking about here?
We've got
60 Minutes did a special on it. Is that what we're saying? I don't remember when mainstream media gave two craps about an unpublished Isaac Newton paper.
Unpublished manuscript.
Oh, manuscript. Sorry.
Manuscript.
Yeah, sorry.
So we're good, Trev. You're good. You get through 2026, you're good.
Yeah, I'm not worried.
Yeah, but you clearly are. There's clearly a part of you.
No. It was different. It's totally different.
Listen.
This time around.
Go easy on Trev. He grew up in a very windy place.
Yeah.
I'm not getting into that.
It causes you to
Thank you.
go a little bit insane.
We have the wrap for William Huff in the next hour, which includes the awarding of the A&W text of the day for A&W. That's why it's the A&W text of the day. We got Ryan Rishaug with Got Your Back morning mandate. We got the Marmon Basin report. We got That Hurts for James H. Brown. We got 3 questions too many. I need one more question. I got 2. I need one more question. Get that into me if you have an idea. But we also need someone to play kind of easy trivia. So text in 2026 if you want to play kind of easy trivia. Text 2026. Trev will give someone a call. Will has done the kind of easy trivia questions.
There's a possibility to go 6 for 5.
There is a possibility to go 6 for 5. That's what I'll say. I want 6 for 5 today. I'll explain. There's actually 2 ways to go 6 for 5 in theory.
True. That's right. Yeah.
But the 6 for 5 is on the table.
Well,
I don't know if that's ever happened.
By your, you could go way more than 6 for 5.
Well, but there's if you say both.
Yeah, but I'm saying the last one you could go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, but it's A.
I see.
Right.
You're right. The way that I worded
yeah.
it is a singular. Yeah.
So there's a chance for 6 for 5. We will get to kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike's GC after a YouTube Trev sports update. Here's Trev getting you up to date on what happened last night and coming up in sports today.
Christmas came early for the Oilers as they head into the holiday stretch with a win over the Ottawa Senators by the score of 3-1, thanks to goals from Victor Arvidsson, Zach Hyman, and Adam Henrique. The Oilers will be back in action Saturday the 28th to take on the LA Kings. 4 other games around the NHL last night, including the Ducks getting past the Hockey Club 5-4 in a shootout. The Panthers double up on the Lightning 4-2. Washington beats the Kings 3-1, and the Colorado Avalanche get past the Kraken by the score of 5-2. Today, 13 games around the NHL before their Christmas break, including a pair of matinees which will see the Jets and Leafs battle it out, and the New Jersey Devils taking on the New York Rangers. Tonight in the NFL, the 10-4 Green Bay Packers take on the 5-9 New Orleans Saints to wrap up Week 16. Kickoff for that one is at 6:15, and then in the association, the struggles continue for the Six. As the 7-22 Toronto Raptors fall to the Houston Rockets yesterday by the score of 114-110. The Raptors are back in action today as they look to snap their 7-game losing streak against the New York Knicks. Tip-off for that one is at 5:30. Take your career to the next level with Claiborne Services. They are hiring all positions, including journeyman bricklayers and apprentices of all levels. Take advantage of their outstanding mentorship program and work with peace of mind knowing they're an industry leader in safety. Visit www.claiborneservices.com or make it easy and give Jeff a call at 780-910-6728.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu, and there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Tati and Eric and all of the bad cats like Rishaug and Noodles. Captain can gauge it. Maybe it's fun but a Coolbet to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday mandate. Shaggy's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number 1 in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some hot takes and we wanna hear Renee. Wanna hold the neck up when Iwanyk is away. Be left to tie a fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the games? Macaramel, Rapaport, Dreger and Tanier. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about him being a person, does he go forth? What say you? AM Nasty Crew. We got the Nielson Show flu, and there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
This is the Nielson Show. Matt Iwanyk, Will Fraser, YouTube Trev with you here live on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Live in the Popeyes, Louisiana kitchen studio. Get your text in 780-218-9999. That is the Paris Jewelers inbox. The Nielson Show proudly presented by South Fort Chevrolet. I actually think this is a great text coming in from Lucas. It's now the front runner for text of the day. Because like rips were fine. This one actually a pretty good one, especially for today, Festivus. Give the gift of subs to your friends and family members in their name, like George did with the Human Fund.
There you go. Yeah, a donation has been made in your name to the Human Fund.
A sub to Edmonton Sports Talk has been given in your name this Christmas.
Yeah,
and that's what you give. If you're still looking for that last minute Christmas gift.
Yeah.
You go create a Gmail account, and you give them the username, password, and then the sub. Lucas with the text of the day.
Still my favorite boss of George's. I don't care.
Dan English also saying, Will, you're right about the unsub. I did that, but figured it out.
Yeah.
And I saw we did go up a one. So that did happen. We got to get to where the Park Mazda 3 questions too many. If you do have a third question, I will still take one. Otherwise, I have an idea of where I will go with that. But we've got to play kind of easy trivia where I've put it in Sharpie. You can't
don't show it to them.
They're not going to see that.
Come on.
One way you can get 2 points. So that if you go 6 for 5, this is one way of going 6 for 5. We'll see if it can happen. But kind of easy trivia.
You can go 3 for 5 with only answering 2 of the questions as well.
Then the boys aren't here. I'm going to do whatever I want here.
Yep.
If they could do it that way and
that's 3 for 5.
I'm going with it.
Yeah.
Mr. Mike's kind of easy trivia. Let the festivities begin. You're invited to Mr. Mike's Fiesta Fusion. Celebrate the flavors of their new Mexican and Spanish inspired features. Plus $1 from every feature entree sold to help nourish a hungry child through a local breakfast program in this community. Join the Fiesta Fusion at your local Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, eat casually. Who's playing kind of easy trivia, Trev?
This is Shotsky Jerry.
Oh, Shotsky Jerry.
Yes.
Dobre den. How are you, Jerry?
Dobry day.
How are things?
Dobry day. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. You all set? Any more shopping done or to do, or you good to go?
Well, actually, I'm going to come for a little visit this morning with the Shotsky.
Oh, coming in with the Shotsky.
Absolutely.
That'll be something. That's a good way to celebrate the day. Well, hopefully, if you're coming for a Mr. Mike's GC. You've played this before, so you know how it works. I'll ask the first question, the tickers start, and you got to go 3 of 5. You feeling good?
Let me check. Yeah, very good. I think so.
Perfect.
It sounds like he should have a cakewalk on the first question. I'm just going to say.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
He will. Trev, are you ready to go?
Yes.
You're ready to go. I'm ready to go. Jerry's ready to go. Let's play 3 questions, or kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike's GC. Here we go, Jerry. Who is the heavyweight champion of boxing?
Usyk.
What major hockey tournament starts on Boxing Day?
The World Juniors.
Who did the Oilers beat last night?
That was the Senators.
Which Oiler is on a 6-game goal scoring streak?
Hyman.
And name a bowl game.
Let's go Cotton.
5 for 5.
Well done.
5 for 5.
My name is Julius, and I'm your twin brother. I've been looking forward to this moment my whole life. Excuse me, but I was just taking a shower. Tell me a little bit about Vincent. Was he a great athlete? Was he interested in chess and poetry? My name is Julius. My name is Julius. My name is Julius.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
5 for 5. How you could have got 6 for 5. I was going to accept Spangler for 2 points.
Sure.
That was it. You gave it to me. What major hockey tournament starts on Boxing Day?
Yeah.
I think Spangler.
Yeah.
Spangler.
True.
I would have taken that for double points because most people would have went with World Juniors. Or if you said both. That's how we're also going to go 6 for 5. If you quickly said World Juniors and Spangler, boom, 6 for 5. Could have happened. But instead, Jerry is still perfect at a 5 for 5. He's going to Mr. Mike's with that $25 GC. I love a good Spangler.
I guess so.
Sam Gagne's in it this year.
I love that.
He's like the only name I know of the team this year.
I love that.
He's just still going to go. What a great way to go, like, pretty much finish off your career.
One of the most,
just go play in Switzerland for
such a
couple
likable
games.
guy too.
Absolutely.
Like if you, I don't know anyone who cheers against Sam Gagne. Like just likable.
If you cheer against Sam Gagne,
yeah,
I got a problem with you.
Yeah, exactly.
We all got a problem with you. Yeah, there's no one else on that list.
Yeah.
Like it's a like most years there's those like washed up players. They go, they're still playing or something.
Yeah.
This year it's not that good of a list. So
yeah, well, the European leagues. I mean, I'm sure Justin Schultz would have been on this squad, but he just retired from his European League squad.
Why don't you just go to play at the Spangler?
Right, I agree.
Let's get to 3 questions too many for Park Mazda. Mitch is excited to go represent Canada at this year's Spangler. Nice. Park Mazda, your dealer for life. Okay, 3 questions too many. They're all around Christmas. I'll go with that. Question 1.
Okay.
So there's a lot of sports over the next week to watch.
Right.
You got the World Juniors starting. You got Spangler starting. You've
games.
got NFL happening now on Christmas Day and like throughout the weekend. Yep. You got bowl games tonight. We got to include the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, the classic famous Idaho Potato Bowl. By the way, Cotton Bowl is a semifinal this year, so we don't know who's in that game yet. You've got the NHL that will return, and then you got the NBA is now like forgotten. Their Christmas Day games. If you could watch one sport throughout the course of the next week, which one, or one event, if you will, what are you choosing?
Well, for me, it's always my set, like when the primary is gone, what do I always go back to? It's NBA.
So you're going to watch NBA on Christmas Day?
I'll watch NBA. Even though Lakers Warriors is not the game that I thought it like. I'll enjoy watching the Celtics beat up on the 76ers because even though I like their head coach, I love what's happening to the 76ers. So I'll watch them get beat up a little bit. And Timberwolves Mavs will actually be a really good matchup. So there's a couple of good ones there.
Knicks Spurs. Get to watch Wemby at MSG.
Nuggets Suns should be better than
the late game.
It should have been, but
it's just something else that, the NBA I built something for Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
And the only time the NFL would ever play Christmas Day if it actually fell on a weekend. If it fell on a Saturday or Sunday, they'd play Christmas Day a couple of games.
I mean, Chiefs Steelers is can't miss football.
No, Ravens Texans should be a lot of fun too. But I love how the NFL, after last year, finds we actually do get good ratings here. We're going to take that as our day. Thanks, NBA. All good.
They
ours
just
now.
suck up all the oxygen in the room and continue to do it.
I believe there'll be a 7-day league sport one day.
Like you can tell that it was always the NHL, but you can throw the NBA into it right now, that they can't wait for football to be done.
Yeah.
That between college football and the NFL, there's no room for anything else.
No. Trev, one thing to watch throughout Christmas, what would it be?
It's going to be World Juniors, baby. Let's go.
Of course it is for you.
Yeah.
This is what you do, right?
Well, it's funny. And you had mentioned earlier, when your team sucks, you kind of, this is something.
This is what you hang your hat on.
Yeah, watching the Oilers growing up. This is exactly what you got to see all the top end prospects. Taylor Hall, Jordan Eberle's. It's pretty cool. So you got Bo Akey, Edmonton Oilers prospect. He'll be on the defense for the Team Canada, which I'll be paying close attention to him because by all accounts he's a pretty good player. He was injured last year.
Last year was wiped out because of injury,
which was too bad. But just watching some of his highlights, he's I don't know, man. The Oilers might have a pretty special player.
Well, he's that classic.
It's interesting.
Outside of the first round defenseman.
Yeah.
Right. He's a defenseman who's got holes.
Yeah.
But he also has incredible upside.
He does. That's what's promising.
And because it's a defenseman, you can take your time.
Yeah.
Right. A forward, if they haven't hit by the time they're 23, you start to panic. Whereas a defenseman, you don't expect them to hit until they're 23.
For sure. Yeah. So I'll be watching Team Canada. They got a stacked team this year, as always they usually, but this year in particular, they got a lot of Porter, Martone, and then you got Gavin McKenna, Easton Cowan, go down the list. It's a really skilled team. So it's tradition. In my family, always got to watch, for most families, but just going to see my dad and watching World Juniors, it was my favorite thing growing up.
I've got the college football. That is my thing. Today, couple games. We got the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Don't mess with UTSA, the Roadrunners. Taking on Coastal Carolina, Northern Illinois, Fresno State, and the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. It's the famous Idaho Potato Bowl.
These are barely words to me.
They're great games. Tomorrow, it's the Hawaii Bowl at 6 o'clock. South Florida, San Jose State. Boxing Day, we got 3 games. Then on the 27th, we've got my Cougs taking on Syracuse, looking for revenge, who ruined my Hurricane season. It's the Holiday Bowl. 28th, we got the Pop-Tart Bowl, Miami, Iowa State. Just a slew of games coming up. Nothing beats college bowl season. I don't need the World Juniors.
Nothing beats it.
I don't need Spangler. Don't need the NFL. Don't need the NBA. Don't need the NHL returning.
Assertion.
Give me college football this week. That's all I need. That's it.
Okay.
The only thing that matters.
Okay.
Who do you got in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl?
Don't care. Potatoes. I'm picking potatoes for the win.
Tube saying the NFL would be excited, but he just realized that his in-laws do not have Netflix, and the game's on Netflix. Canadian rights are on TSN, so I think that's just in the States, but I am double checking here
if
to
it's going
see
to be
their
blacked
schedule.
out in Canada.
Well, yeah, because maybe there's a special deal with
Would
that.
make sense if it was.
But I'm just trying to see if I could see. I'm not seeing anything right off the bat. They're doing their schedule in a really weird way. The website for TSN.
Well, get a VPN. You can watch it.
Christmas Day. Both the 2 games will be on both TSN and CTV. So in Canada, you don't need Netflix. You can watch the games.
You could have rabbit ears. It's on CTV.
The only thing is, I don't know if it'll be the Netflix feed, like how that will work with TSN. Well, I guess they're going to get the straight feed, so they'll be fine. I'll be intrigued because the Paul Tyson streaming issues.
Yeah.
The NFL, they're going to be a little watching that very closely, going.
Oh, absolutely. Like,
can't have any.
Both of these streaming services have had some pretty big letdowns. The only one that's proven that they can handle it so far is Apple TV.
But they haven't had that big.
Right.
That's the thing.
Right. You're right.
Where everyone's
I think
converging.
Apple TV has benefited from the fact that not a lot of people have Apple TV. But if you've watched any of their baseball or their MLS coverage, it's very good. And the stream is solid. So, whereas both Prime and Netflix have suffered from buffering issues, glitching, all of it.
Question number 2. Well, today is Festivus. It's also National Christmas Movie Marathon Day.
Okay.
I'm skipping the Christmas part of that.
Don't skip the Christmas part of it. Why are you skipping the Christmas part of that?
Well, the question I was going to have is if you could have a movie marathon, what would you watch?
Like of a Christmas movie marathon?
No. Well, because I like some people take the time during Christmas and they do marathon watching of whatever movie they want to watch.
I think you're missing like what we learned from early Twitter and why Twitter isn't good anymore was there used to be a really tight character limit, which made it so that your tweets needed to be sharp. It created discipline. And so I think boundaries are good. So the idea of a Christmas movie marathon, it's better than a movie marathon. It's too broad.
But a lot of people at Christmas time watch just like what would you go with? Do you go with Rocky? Do you go with Star Wars? Do you go with Lord of the Rings? Do you
This
go
is
with
what I
Godfather?
mean. It's too broad. That's why.
But what is there for Christmas movies?
What is there
for
Christmas
marathons?
Movies? Are you kidding me?
Multiple ones.
First of all, you've got 2 diehards.
Okay, so you believe that they're Christmas movies?
They are both Christmas movies. They both take place during Christmas, and people say Merry Christmas in them. That's all you need.
Cool.
You need someone saying Merry Christmas. It's a Christmas movie. It counts. So you can put both diehards in there.
You got Home Alones.
You've got 2 Home Alones. You've got Love Actually, which gets played in my house every Christmas season.
That can't be a marathon. That's just a singular movie.
No, that's part of. Like you think it has to be part of.
I was going like I feel like it's got to be a set.
No. That's the thing. It's a Christmas movie marathon. So
I see.
You have to pick Christmas themed movies. So you go back to back. You go Home Alone followed by Die Hard or Die Hard followed by Home Alone. Those are the OGs of Christmas movies. And then you throw in like a Love Actually or a Jingle All the Way. If you want to get really sappy, you can go Miracle on 34th Street. That little girl is adorable. And you go from there.
Okay, I see what okay, so I'll go with that. Okay, so a movie marathon. I'm going to say 3 movies. Build 3 movies.
3 movies.
Christmas movie marathon today, 3 movies.
Well, I kind of already gave it away, so I'm going to go off the board from there. Christmas movie marathon. So obviously, Christmas Vacation. That's a solid opener. I don't think you want to finish with Christmas Vacation. I think you want to start with it to get you in the mood. Family Stone. You want to bawl your eyes out? Watch a little Family Stone. That'll kill you. That'll your nose will be running for the rest of the day. And a final one after that. Die Hard 2. Underappreciated. There, that'll finish it off. That's a real solid threesome.
Trev, you need 3 movies for Christmas.
Has to be Christmas, eh? Okay, I like this. Okay, I'm going to go with, I'll start it off with Miracle on, what is it, 34th Street?
Yeah.
I like that one. Watch that one with
that little girl's adorable.
Yeah, it is. Very, very adorable. That's just nostalgia right there for me. And then I've got the Polar Express, also nostalgic.
Whoa.
That was just awesome.
That creeps me out, man.
I get that.
Dead eyes.
As I've gotten older, growing up, I was just like, oh no, this is great. But as I've gotten older, I'm like, this is kind of terrifying.
Yeah, Tom Hanks is freaking me out.
Yeah, and every character he plays.
Yeah.
Every single one. The kid, all of them. So even Santa Claus there. So that one I really like. And then I'd finish it off on a high note. It would be a very Harold and Kumar Christmas.
Like it.
Let's
good
go.
Call.
Good call.
Really good call. Yes. I like that. Yeah, because you're already a couple cups in at that point.
Oh, yes, absolutely. You can finish it on that one. I'll be buzzing. Let's go.
I'm still trying to figure out where I'm going to go with mine fully. Some people, Shawnzy, Vacation, Home Alone, Elf, Hampton Steve, Christmas Vacation, Elf, and Muppets,
Elf is
Christmas
a solid
Carol,
one, yeah.
Big Uke, Home Alone 2, Santa Claus, The Escape Clause, Christmas with the Cranks. Let me see who else. Somebody's saying there's 5 Home Alone movies.
No, there isn't.
There's the direct, there's Home Alone 3, which was directed, I understand. So my number, like I start with It's a Wonderful Life's in there. I absolutely love It's a Wonderful Life. It's
I
my
like
favorite.
it.
I watch it once
It's
every
solid,
Christmas at
man.
least. So I need that one. I would probably I think I would take Home Alone 1 still over 2. I don't want to do both.
Okay.
Because I want a little bit diversity.
Yeah.
And 2 might be better than 1 overall.
You think so? Right?
Some people do, but in the end, if I'm watching 1, I want to start with the original, like the story behind it. Like it's the first time it happened.
It also has
you
the
got
best
the John
finish.
Candy in it with the Polka King.
Yeah,
you know, like there's just those
polka,
little,
polka.
Yeah, it's so I'll go Home Alone 1, the first one. I do like Santa Claus. I don't mind Elf, but I think I might go the Jim Carrey Grinch.
Love it. I really love it.
That's that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's it. I'm not going. Yeah, I like that. Grinch is a very good one.
So those would be those would be.
I like
3.
it. These are solid picks.
Yeah, we'll have to get Rishaug's take on that.
Yeah.
Third question. For 3 questions, too many. What are you most looking forward to for Christmas upcoming?
What am I most looking forward to?
Is it the food? Is it the family? What are you most looking forward to for Christmas?
Wow, I've gotten to an age and a stage in my life where it's just time with my family and loved ones, right? Like that's all it is. Like even my nephews are so much more enjoyable now than they were when they were little kids. Like I know that there's a lot of people out there that love the little kids at Christmas because it's like, they believe in the magic. I'm far more like, I like it when I get to have real conversations with the people in my family. So spending time with all the family. Yeah, I'm becoming a softie in my old age.
Trev?
Yeah, I hate to sound like a broken record here, but going home, seeing the family, I missed out on it last year. Just very tired and whatnot, couldn't make it down. So it'll be nice to just see everyone, see all the family. Haven't seen, some of my family.
You're gonna go shred the gnar at the local hill, aren't you?
Yeah. If I can make it, I'd like to go to Castle. I think that would be very fun because I haven't skied since I've been in Edmonton, which is 2 years now. Kind of annoying, but just seeing the family, watching some hockey, World Juniors, and just stuffing. I haven't had good stuffing. If you're nasty, you know that my turkey I made this year sucked, and the stuffing was just terrible. So I'm looking forward to stuffing.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to the food.
Yeah.
It's the food. I get the Ukrainian
your
meal.
mother makes all of it.
Well, she's going to do Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve, Aunt's making a lot of it.
Okay.
But it's the 12 meatless dishes, though. So it's the borscht, it's the pierogi, it's the cabbage rolls.
Yeah.
It's just a good meal. You got to pace yourself properly because sometimes you're like, I'm going to load up early.
Do you have just the bowl of sour cream?
Actually, because it's you're not actually supposed to use dairy. So we generally don't.
Does that include butter? How do you?
No, the butter.
Butter's in my family. How do you have a Ukrainian meal without butter?
Butters always happens, but as a kid, I don't believe we ever had sour cream.
Yeah.
But now that there's young kids, they get spoiled. They get all my nieces and the nephews and stuff. They get all the stuff we never got as kids.
Yeah.
They get they don't have to do any of that stuff. We're soft on them apparently. I shouldn't say we because I'm not soft on them. They're not my kids. Yeah. They're not my grandkids. But they get away with everything. Things that we couldn't get away with as kids, they get away with it.
And you throw a temper tantrum about it every year. Hey?
I get a little annoyed.
Do you sulk in the corner?
No,
just like cross the arms and not talk to anyone.
It's one of my. No, I just drink. It's one of my cousin's birthday today, but my cousin, her brother, my other cousin, my brother and I, we used to have to do like a little play for the family.
And they don't have
And then my grandma would give me last like $5 or something.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten a play yet.
Have you told them you'll give them $10?
Why would I give $10? I got 5.
Inflation, bud.
Well, it's not. It's up to where are the grandmas here? Where's the grandpas?
No.
Where's anyone else?
No, this is up to you.
Might have to.
This is up to you.
No.
To go to those nieces and nephews, or just nieces.
Well, my cousins
and second cousins and what have you, and be like, "This is the deal."
I might have to. This year I might have to.
I expect to play. Here's $15.
By this age, we were doing them, and nothing's happened yet.
Yeah, I
just gone full soft.
Some sort of Christmas pageant.
Full soft. Now off the air, I'll tell you something else that I have to do at Christmas. I can't say it on the air. It is the soft side of me comes out of this, so I'm not a complete curmudgeon for this.
Okay.
But I had to do it. You should have to do it. But I'm looking forward to
But I think you have to pay for it.
It shouldn't have to be. It was my grandma.
Yeah, but it was your grandma for you. So clearly somebody else needs to step up.
I'll
for the next
do it.
generation.
I will do it.
Yes.
I will step up.
Yes.
But then but I can't force them to do it. I was forced to do it.
Well, you can get their parents to force them to do it and be kind of like Uncle Matthew demands that you entertain him.
I'll bring the cash.
Yeah. And if it's any good, he'll pay you money. Yeah.
Oh, we just got it no matter what. It didn't have to be good.
Okay.
Maybe that's how I'll do it. You get 10 if it's good, 5 if it's bad.
That's right.
I'm going to judge your performance based on how much money you get from me.
Just a stack of 5s, and you just slowly pull 5s off as the performance goes.
I said so. I'll have to bring loonies.
Yeah.
A stack of loonies, and as it goes, just no.
Oh, yeah.
There's another 10 more bets on Coolbet for me.
Yeah.
If I win today, I could really, I could give a lot of cash actually. If my bet wins. Zabutski, only 8 more big sleeps until my Fighting Illini take on the Gamecocks in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. There we go. That's what I'm talking about, Zabutski. Used to be just a straight up Cheez-Its Bowl, and they would like pour Cheez-Its on themselves. Now they just sponsor the Citrus Bowl. But the Cheez-Its Bowl turned into the Pop-Tart Bowl. If Cheez-It Bowl didn't die, we wouldn't have the Pop-Tart Bowl. So
which, by the way, does
sacrifice.
not pair. Orange juice and Cheez-Its does not pair. Yeah, I see. Trevor's like, oh, yeah, no, I wouldn't want that. Yeah.
That doesn't sound good at all.
A tequila sunrise and Cheez-Its? That's a bad hangover.
Kyle Den Balmer, this is why Matt isn't the favorite uncle. I actually am.
He's
the
the only
kids
uncle.
love my gifts. Actually, straight up, they all say I give the best gifts.
Sure you do.
100%.
Yeah.
I spoil them in that sense.
Yeah.
So you're wrong on that one, Kyle. You're wrong.
Yeah.
I give great gifts. I deserve them this play.
That's right. Yeah. You need to hold them accountable. You're expecting someone else to hold them accountable.
I think you're right. This is on me.
This is you.
This has been a fault of mine from the last number of years.
This is how growth happens.
I have screwed up.
Yeah.
And now I've got to
You've been
correct
waiting
this.
around for somebody else to do the job that was always yours.
But I actually do put a lot of thought into my gifts to make sure I get good gifts. So, yeah. We got to get to the snow report. We got the wrap for William Huff. But up next, we will have Ryan Rishaug from TSN. It's the Got Your Back Monday morning mandate. This is the Nielson Show presented by South Fort Chevrolet. Matt Iwanyk, Will Fraser with here alongside YouTube Trev, who's got a sports update right now.
Christmas came early for the Oilers as they head into the holiday stretch with a win over the Ottawa Senators by the score of 3-1, thanks to goals from Victor Arvidsson, Zach Hyman, and Adam Henrique. The Oilers will be back in action Saturday the 28th to take on the LA Kings. 4 other games around the NHL last night, including the Ducks getting past the Hockey Club 5-4 in a shootout. The Panthers double up on the Lightning 4-2. Washington beats the Kings 3-1, and the Colorado Avalanche get past the Kraken by the score of 5-2. Today, 13 games around the NHL before their Christmas break, including a pair of matinees which sees the Jets and Leafs battle it out and the New Jersey Devils taking on the New York Rangers. Tonight in the NFL, the 10-4 Green Bay Packers take on the 5-9 New Orleans Saints to wrap up Week 16. Kickoff for that one starts at 6:15. And in the association, the struggles continue in the 6th as the 7-22 Toronto Raptors fall to the Houston Rockets yesterday by the score of 114-110. The Raptors are back in action today as they look to snap their 7-game losing streak against the New York Knicks. Game starts at 5:30. Boxing Week savings are coming to Sit and Sleep. Starting December 14th, all Canadian-made custom sofas, sectionals, and bedrooms will be on sale. Save up to 50% on select floor samples, 20% off home accents, and more. Plus, make no payments until 2026 interest-free. And make any purchase over $999 during the sale and receive free local white glove delivery with full setup and installation. Don't miss the massive Boxing Week furniture mattress sales event starting December 14th at Sit and Sleep in South Edmonton Common next to Planet Fitness. Oh, that was terrible.
Timberlake rocks.
Is that a mandate of yours?
What are we talking about here? Good question. Can some of it be about sport?
Yeah.
All he needs to do is just get in front of people and state his case. If they had the mandate from the people, blah, 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 I don't know where that information came from, but I would question it.
Time for the Morning Mandate with Ryan Rishaug.
This is what sports broadcasting is all about.
You know what? That may be a good point, Ryan.
You broke the story, Ryan.
Rishaug is one giant 6'2" pile of Charmin.
We are seconds away from Ryan Rishaug joining us for the Got Your Back Monday Morning Mandate. Ryan Rishaug of TSN. This is the Nielson Show. Matt Iwanyk, Will Fraser, YouTube Trev with you here. The Nielson Show presented by South Fort Chevrolet. Get your text in 780-218-9999. Paris Jewelers inbox right now. 4-carat oval diamond solitaire for only $7,999 while quantities last. It will sell out. Portions of sales from their holiday collection will be donated to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Canada. After Rishaug, I have a little bit of a Christmas miracle for some of our nasties out there that I will have to get to. I'm very excited about this. I've been worried about this for quite some time, so we will get to that in a bit. But right now, it is Ryan Rishaug of TSN and Got Your Back, a podcast with us here. There he is, Ryan Rishaug with us. Ryan,
what's going on, boys?
Oh, not much. Getting
nice
set
to see
for Christmas here and all. We were talking about creating a three-movie Christmas movie marathon for today.
Yeah.
If you had to go with 3 Christmas movies, what would you put as your little 3 movies you'd throw on today?
I would go Christmas Vacation.
Yep.
Elf.
Okay.
We watched Elf the other day.
It's a classic.
Hysterical. I mean, he's an angry little elf. My God, it gets me every year. That gets me. And then I'm open on a third. So Struds and Brownie both swear by Love Actually.
Yeah. I would too.
I tried to watch it, you guys.
Yeah.
I couldn't even watch it.
Really?
Like hot garbage.
I heard it's just toxic relationships all over the place.
It is. It's
just hot garbage.
Yeah. Okay.
And it doesn't make a lot of sense.
You just hate the British.
No,
is that what it is, Rishaug? You just hate the Brits?
Exactly, yeah. So I don't know. I'm having trouble on a third one. I'm kind of. What are some of the other suggestions?
Well, there's the Home Alones,
or the Die Hards.
Die Hards, Christmas with the Cranks. It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street.
I know. What's the one with Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon? 4 Christmases,
4 Christmas,
something like that.
Really? You hated Love Actually, but you liked 4 Christmases.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like 4 Christmases because I love the brothers.
Oh, yeah.
I love his brother, and he's got 2 brothers, I think, in that scene.
Psychopaths,
yeah, just psychopaths for brothers. Is it Robert Duvall was the dad?
Yeah.
Is that who was the dad?
I feel like you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like there were some great characters in that. So that would be up there for me for sure. But no Love Actually.
Somebody says Love Actually is a good movie, but it's definitely not a great relationship movie. So that's just not good relationship in there. Charlie Brown also but that's it's not
Charlie
long
Brown
enough.
Christmas,
That's for TV specials.
Yeah.
But it's always good watching Charlie Brown. Are you done your Christmas shopping, or are you last minute?
Oh, yeah. Nobody. I got her on lock. I have learned to be really good at this. So when you're in a blended family with 5 kids, and you're busy and work lots, I get her dialed in like late November.
Right.
So if I basically have 2 items arriving today and it's done, like it's completely done, finished. So yeah, I'm not one of those guys. Christmas stress I just hate Christmas stress because I love Christmas and I want to be able to just relax and enjoy it. So I avoid Christmas stress by getting ahead of it.
Yeah, we were talking to Darren Dreger earlier, and he said he has to drive to downtown Toronto to pick up his last gift today.
Yeah, that sounds like Dreger-esque planning.
Right? Like, doesn't that sound like the worst thing ever? Like,
yeah. So I don't know if you guys know this or not. Yeah. I don't know if you know this or not, but our company manages the Ray and Dregs Hockey Podcast. So, so my wife and I have a production company that manages that show. So I'm kind of like I don't want to call myself his boss. You guys certainly can if you choose to. Next time he's on the show, feel free to mention that idea that I'm his boss. But the idea that he's left a Christmas gift in downtown Toronto to 2 days before Christmas, based on my experience working with Dregs on that show, is not surprising in any way, shape, or form. It's a logistical mess. It's like herding cats. When Ray Ferraro is the organized one in your group, you've got issues.
Yeah. Something's already broken at that point. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Before we get to the other game, quick question. And you have glasses?
Not new. I forgot I just kept them on. So readers for me, right? Like I have trouble. So I got the iPad notes here, and I'm kind of wanting to sit back a little in the chair. Normally I would be like this.
Oh, you want to be laid back guy.
But I'm trying to be a little more chill. I got back here. I just need to keep the readers on. But the trick with podcasting and reading glasses, as you guys know, is you can see my light right across the top. So the idea is to have the light high enough that it's lighting your face, but not having crazy reflection in your glasses. So if I sit back, there you go.
It's just the perfect spot. Look at that, amazing.
I appreciate the tips. I appreciate it. Thanks,
That's
Ryan.
TV there for you right there.
That's a Christmas
TV
gift
knowledge.
right there. Yeah.
Ryan, takeaways for you from the Oilers' 2 wins this past weekend. What stands out to you with them grabbing the 4 points against the Stars or the Sharks and the Sens?
Yeah, so I think that the Oilers are playing a really confident and mature game right now, in that no matter what situation they find themselves in, they're not really panicking. They're not really getting away from a game that they know is going to most likely bring them success. So when they're down, they don't start pressing in a way where they make the dumb mistake and let it get completely away from them. They just stick to the plan and stick to the plan and stick to the plan. And, they tend to galvanize a little bit in those situations. So we've seen some come from behind wins lately because of that discipline. And then in that game, they didn't have the best start against Ottawa, but they found their game and they stayed with it. And then they were just really defensively sound. So they played really nice hockey defending a lead in that game as well. So I just think that there's a quality and a maturity in their game that I think it has to do with last season and the success they had, being one of the best teams in the league down the back half, the playoff success they had. I think there's a strong belief in there and I think the message comes from the coach, right? There's a certain way he wants them to play in these situations, and I think the players are, and they're getting good results from it. So just some maturity, guys, I would say.
Full credit goes to the coaching staff for what they've done. And obviously injury and finally getting healthy is probably the base part of the story. But Darnell Nurse, as much as we have rightfully praised, especially Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid for their past month and a half and the level that they've achieved, yesterday's win, for me at least, that was all Darnell Nurse. Like that was as clean a hockey game as I've seen in a long time from that defenseman. And that's to say he's been playing great hockey up until then, but everyone was kind of obviously down a pint playing 3 games in 4 nights. And it was Darnell Nurse who was an absolute cooler every time he hit the ice.
Yeah, he's been really good this year. This is what Darnell Nurse can do for you, when he's playing confident and playing his game. I find him more relaxed to deal with behind the scenes, right? He's more chill in his media availabilities. He just seems more comfortable in his skin. He seems more comfortable in his game. He's not overextending himself in goofy ways and trying to do too much. He just seems as comfortable in his role as he has in a couple of years here. And so I would submit to you guys that there were changes on the blue line in the offseason, some downgrades, right? You lose Cody Ceci, you lose Philip Broberg, and you're kind of going like, what is this going to look like? Josh Brown comes in, Ty Emerson, a relative unknown, comes in, and everybody's looking at the Oilers blue line going, oh boy, is it going to be as good? But I would suggest to you that the increased value in Darnell Nurse's play, just from Darnell Nurse going from where he was to where he is now, has more than made up for any of the personnel changes that they've had to deal with. And then, by the way, Brett Kulak decided to be playoff Brett Kulak during the regular season. Right. You guys know how good Brett Kulak is in the playoffs? Well, that's what he's doing right now during the regular season. He's normally a third pairing guy during the year, and then he turns into a second pairing guy in the playoffs, which is impressive. Well, he's playing like a second pairing guy right now. So those 2 swings with those 2 players more than make up for any lost personnel on the blue line for the Oilers.
We're with Ryan Rishaug of TSN and the Got Your Back Up podcast. Zach Hyman, goal scoring streak he's on right now. He's been playing really well ever since the 4 Nations roster announcement. What have you noticed in the difference of Zach Hyman from pre that announcement and now post that announcement in his play?
Yeah, I mean, he's not throwing his head in the air every game, having just missed an amazing opportunity that he normally would put in. Like, honestly, we talked to Zach last night, and I'm telling you guys, even when he was struggling with, what was it, a run of 3 goals in 19 or 20 games or something like that, he was talking to us saying, guys, like, I feel like I'm actually not playing bad. He believed that the quality of his game was not terrible through that first stretch. He just wasn't putting them in. They weren't going in. He was working, like some guys, when they go dry, you look at their game and they're like, oh man, he's totally getting away from it, forcing it. Oh, the quality's come out of his game because his confidence is shot. And now he's forcing things that don't work, blah, 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 blah. We weren't really thinking or saying any of that about Zach Hyman. He was playing Zach Hyman hockey. He just was not burying pucks that he normally would bury. He wasn't catching breaks that he normally would earn for himself. So I would say he has stayed with the program. He has stayed with the plan. And a couple of things went his way, and now you've got some momentum, and even a player of his veteran status would be subject to the ups and downs of some confidence when it comes to pucks going in. I don't think he's changed that much, to be honest with you. He's just burying pucks, and the luck is there, and he's playing at much more the offensive pace that we're used to seeing. Do you guys think there's a big difference in what he's doing out there?
No, I think he is, and this will upset some old school hockey fans, but he's just proving analytics right? Like when people who really believe in analytics go, listen, like the underlying numbers say that over the course of an 82 game season, this is what the production should look like. I think you're absolutely right. I think Hyman is proving that, in that, like, he has not changed much of what he does. It's just the bounces are actually going in when earlier the bounces were going out.
But I think he's proved the eye test right too, Will. Yeah. Because we were watching him play going like, okay, he's working his ass off.
Yeah.
He's still digging as hard as anybody. He's still one of the best forecheckers in the world. You know, he's still doing all of the things, getting in front of the net, paying the price. He did not pay any less of a price during that stretch than he has over this last little stretch where the rewards have been there. So yes, he proves the analytics right, but I think he proves the eye test right too. Zach Hyman plays the game a certain way, and he's been playing it that way most of the season, and they've been going in for him recently, and the confidence is definitely injected back into his game. It's a great thing for the Oilers, because they, you know, to have Zach Hyman firing at this pace, it just takes pressure off the big guys night in, night out.
Well, the pressure's on Hockey Canada brass now. Like, they have to win 4 Nations, because if they don't, he will be at the top of the list of where did you screw up when you put this roster together. Won't he? Like,
we'll see.
Is there anyone else
I'm not as sure about that, Will. I'm not as sure about that. Like, I know what you're saying, and I do think that, you know, you definitely could have made a case for him being there. And people will, you know, and lots of people pointed to Zach Hyman as one of the we'll call it a snubs, one of the guys that should have been there. And I'm not disagreeing with that, but I don't know, but like, it's a pretty stacked roster, man. If Zach Hyman being there, I think definitely could tip the scales in a certain way, but I don't view it as some egregious thing that if they don't win, it's like not putting Gretzky in the shootout. I mean,
well, no, it's not. It's that's different. That's blaming your coach for how he was running his game. Mm-hmm. But I just look at it, and I just don't know what the guys who were putting together the roster were looking at, because they definitely weren't looking at the last 2 playoffs, which in my opinion is what you're supposed to look at in these sort of single game elimination tournaments. It's not supposed to be regular season. It's not supposed to be the last 20 games. You're supposed to look at important games played. And I don't know if there's been a better winger from Canada over the last 2 playoffs than Zach Hyman.
Yeah, fair. That's all fair. I do think that because it, you know, like John Cooper describes it as 4 game 7s that they're going to have to play here. So I do think the way players are playing in the moment actually did weigh in a little more than people might have thought. Like, what kind of year are they having, right? And I know you're picking the team early, but I think maybe what they said to themselves was, based on the way Zach Hyman was playing and based on the injury, they're saying, okay, would we like him on the team? Yes. Would he be a guarantee to play with Connor McDavid on this team? Well, maybe not. Maybe they viewed him more as like a 4th line player or an extra on this team. And then they're going, well, does it make sense to have him on the team if he's not playing on the top line with Connor McDavid? Is he going to be on the top power play unit? And maybe the answer to that, based on their formations, wasn't yes. And so they go, well, does it make sense to have Zach Hyman if he's not on your top power play with McDavid and then on the number 1 line with him? And based on his production and the way he was playing, were you going to put a 3-goal scorer at the time on the top line on this team? I'm just saying I can understand the machinations of how they get to that decision. And by the way, I believe he'd probably be the first injury replacement. The chances they'll have no injury replacements, I think, are probably somewhat slim over the next month.
Yeah,
he may still be there.
And if I'm Hyman, I tell him to pound sand if that's the case. Like,
why?
Like he, to me,
you realize there's an Olympics next year, right?
No, I understand, but he's coming off of a 50-goal season. All he's done since coming to Edmonton is score more goals every season. He was playing on the best power play unit that we've ever seen last year, and his playoff numbers the last 2 years have been phenomenal. And if that staff can't look past 20 games at the beginning of a year and realize that the first 20 games of the season don't tell you anything about a player, then I would just kind of look at it and go, listen, I've got plans already. I've already booked the trip to Hawaii or whatever. I'm good.
Right. Yeah, I get that point of view.
Like Patrick
I don't know
Waugh
that's the way it
would have
works.
done that, right? Like, and I'm not saying he's Patrick Waugh, but it's not like,
dude, he's Zach Hyman, like literally the polar opposite human being on the planet, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's an Olympics coming up, and Zach Hyman absolutely would be a premier option for Canada at the Olympic team. And I mean, listen, if you've made plans with your family and you're off and running, that's fine. I believe Team Canada most likely would have let people know, where they are on the list of replacements. And if they say to you 2 months in advance, just so you know, you're probably one of our top 2 go-to guys, so we may come to you, then I think you keep that in mind when you're making plans, and I think your family understands. If there were no Olympics next year, I think it's different. But I don't think you say no thanks to Team Canada, out of frustration or anger.
Yeah.
When they've got a pretty big event coming next year that
I think
he
Zach
wants
Hyman
to be
will
part
play
of.
for him. Zach Hyman's a better human being than I am. I'm just saying, if I was Zach Hyman, that's what I would do. That's a reflection of me, not of Zach Hyman.
You're a hothead, Will. You're a hothead.
Ryan, it is Christmas coming up here. What are the plans for Got Your Back? Off until after Oilers Kings, or do you got something planned prior?
Yeah, so we did our last one last night with Brownie and Struds and Zuby, and so we're going to take a few days off, and I think we're just going to get back at it after the game on the 28th. There was some discussion about dropping one late next week, but I think we want to give everybody a bit of a breather. Sounds like the Oilers are taking a pretty good break too, which is great for the players to get that time off. They're going to have to really come in and dig in on the 28th and make sure they play well. That's a huge game, and sort of justifying the time that they've gotten off here at Christmas. So, we'll have a post-game pod on the 28th and the 29th, and looking forward to the second half.
Well, wonderful. I hope you and the family have a very Merry Christmas, Ryan. It was great chatting with you again, and I'm back next week with a special co-host that I think you might enjoy next week if you're around for the
have you announced it?
The segment.
Is that called a tease? Is that what you're doing?
I don't know if you want it spoiled.
Do we know? Have you announced? Have you spoiled it?
It's Dave Jameson.
JMO! Seriously? JMO's coming back to the airwaves?
He's going to come in. Will's was unable to do next week, so I reached out to JMO, and JMO's going to do a couple mornings with myself and Eric next week. So next Monday, JMO and I are on air.
Yeah, I was mad. I was Maddie's second choice, so I told him to pound sand when he came back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. Well, you're just literally just cutting yourself off at the knees. Opportunity because of your ego.
That's right.
This city needs more Dave Jameson on the airwaves. So send him my love, and I'll be tuning in.
Well, you'll hopefully be on it, unless you're busy.
Oh, next week?
Yeah, next Monday.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll be around. Sounds good.
Find out. We'll see. Have a Merry Christmas, Ryan, to you and the family.
Merry Christmas,
Ryan. Merry Christmas to you guys. Thanks for having me on, and Merry Christmas to all of the loyal Edmonton Sports Talk listeners and viewers.
Thanks, Ryan.
There's Ryan Rishaug. Got Your Back podcast. Go check him out. Him, Strudwick, Rob Brown. They do something after every Oiler game. They also drop other pods throughout the week. So post-game reaction from yesterday. You can go find that. Also, you could also see all of his stuff at TSN. Ryan does great things with TSN. It's always such a natural conversation with Ryan. He's one of my favorite people to have on. It's always just such an easy conversation. Yeah. And that's because he just makes it easy. That was just classic you and Ryan right there too.
That Zach Hyman call to leave him off the roster, it was only ever going to pay off for Team Canada is if Zach Hyman hit the Four Nations break with 10 or 12 goals, right? At that point, they could go, guys, been ice cold all year. What were we going to do? But all that's happened since they made that roster announcement is it being proven what we knew was already the case. He's an elite level goal scorer in crucial games, and you decided because he had a rough first 20 games that he wasn't going to make your roster.
The only thing I'll say is if Canada doesn't win the Four Nations, there's a good chance we won't be talking about goal scoring, though. There's a good chance we'll be talking about goaltending or defense not being there, and Zach Hyman then won't play into that conversation.
But I don't think
that one would maybe because I don't think we're going to be looking at that term like, well, they just couldn't get goals. Like if they can't go goals, that's a bigger problem, I would say.
If their power play is running at 10, 15%, the Zach Hyman conversation is going to be there.
Sure, 100%. But a power play that's going to feature McDavid, Crosby, McKinnon, Makar, and I don't care. Brad Marchand, maybe. I don't know. That's going to be something else.
But I grew up in Canada Cups as a kid where Dave Andreychuk was always the afterthought. And all Dave Andreychuk did every year was just go out and be a monster in front of the net and score 60 goals, right? And it's I'm not saying the two guys are comparable because Dave Andreychuk couldn't skate and Zach Hyman definitely can, but it's that same sort of there's only one puck and guys have to play roles. And I don't know if anyone plays the Zach Hyman role better than Zach Hyman, right? Nathan McKinnon's going to be Nathan McKinnon. He's not going to turn into a net front presence. Right, Connor McDavid's going to be Connor McDavid. He's not going to go and hang out in front of the net.
There will be. I forgot who it was. Mark Stone, I think it was, as the net front presence.
Sure.
There's a guy that could go play the net front presence.
The last 2 years, Mark Stone has not been as good as Zach Hyman.
No, but he also hasn't played on that power play. Like again, you don't have to do. You just have to go in front of the net. True. When you're with McDavid, Makar, McKinnon, and Crosby. Right. That's going to be a ridiculous power play. I stand by that. I need to get to my Christmas miracle before we get to the wrap for William Huff. We have this thing called the Nasty Club. We have bundle membership packs. We have an annual membership and a premium membership. And part of the premium membership was these scarves.
Okay.
And I got a label created on November 19th and nothing happened.
Okay.
Since November 19th. I've been waiting for these. And last Friday.
I think a lot of us have been in this situation.
And then Friday came at 3:35. We have your package. And I went, oh my God. I was just coming to be like, these might be lost entirely.
Sure.
They are completely gone.
Yeah.
But clearly, to me, it's looking like they were hung up because of Canada Post strike.
Postal strike.
They were caught up there. So today I was like, but it was one of those, your delivery date, we'll update you when there was no delivery date. So I'm thinking, okay, we're off. People are going to be off. I probably won't get them till maybe next week, maybe the week after. Then I could get the premium bundles out there.
Sure.
They're all ready to go. I just need to throw the scarves in them and ready to go.
Okay.
And so I forgot I had somebody text him like, hey, can I pick up today? And I messaged him like, well, I'm waiting for the scarf. But then I went to my UPS tracking. It's coming today.
There you go.
They're in Edmonton and they're out for delivery.
It's a Festivus miracle.
That's exactly it. I've got a time frame between 9:15 and 1:15.
It went from airing of grievances to Festivus miracle.
So what I will say out there, like I'm on air till noon today, so I don't have a lot of time to throw things together. So like I can't have a rush of people coming. But if you want to come for your premium membership, I might. Like I'm here till about like 2 or 3 today. So if you want, you can come. We can get it for you. But the scarf, I don't know when the scarves are actually going to be here yet. I got my window, but I don't know. But beyond that, early next week, you'll be able to pick up your premium membership bundles. And early next week, I will ship out to those that paid for the shipping. But a Christmas Festivus miracle. The scarves are almost here. They're in this city. They're on the roads of Edmonton. Who, by the way, I saw somebody run a red this morning. And I went, good thing I did not have to go straight in that one. I was turning right. And like, there was no reason to run. Like, it wasn't like ice or something.
Yeah.
Like, it was just straight. I'm going, I'm like, this person's not slowing down. And then they just went through and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. 4:40 in the morning in Edmonton. It's Mad Max out there.
It is something else.
Yeah.
It is something else. But we got a Christmas miracle. Matt in the Garrison, you've already picked up. So you just had the regular membership bundle there.
Don't preface it with just.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, it's just you are an annual member, not a premium member in
Correct.
that one.
Yeah.
Annual members were able to pick up already their stuff. So if you were told that you could pick up, you weren't a premium member at that. Let's get to the wrap for William Huff. If you want your place to look good as ours, visit the team at williamhuff.com. In business since 1952. So they are incredible at what they do. You could just see it all behind us when it comes to the good work that William Huff does. Where's my sheet? I moved my sheet too quickly of everything I need to get to. We got to get to the text of the day. I have no sound of the day.
Yeah. What did we learn on today's show?
What did we learn, and what are we watching? So also, what did we learn today?
Trevor?
What did you learn today?
And ski report.
I haven't gotten anything.
Snow report. Oh, nothing yet?
I haven't gotten anything.
Okay.
And our emails are down right now.
Ugh.
So
that'll happen. What did I learn? Let's see. What did I learn? I guess Darren Dreger. This is a bad one, but Darren Dreger's going Christmas shopping downtown Toronto.
In his defense, he did say he has to go cover Leafs.
And now I do.
Oh, you got a snow report. Look at that. Do you want to read it?
No, go ahead. Bud.
Oh, okay. He's got to cover Leafs Jets. So he does have to head there anyways.
Yeah.
We could do the snow report quickly.
Two birds stoned at once.
If we want to get quickly, then we'll come back to the wrap, but we could do the snow report. Because this is from warmer temperatures today. All lifts operating. We learned that on Friday. Snow report, 24 hours, they had traces. In the next 6 days, I guess 10 centimeters is going to come.
Over the line, yep.
To date, they've received 124 centimeters. Settled snowpack is 59 centimeters. Temp at 8 a.m. this morning, -3.
That is a perfect start to the day.
Forecast, mix of sun and cloud. It's going to be great.
Yep.
It's just going to be great. Snow report.
Fresh corduroy out there. Get some rip turns in. Nice little warm-ups. Maybe come on down Paradise. Or go, you know what? Start your day with a simple little tranquilizer run.
You don't have to work today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
You could drive out there today, ski, stay the night, go ski, come back. Boom, you're ready to go. That's simple. What did you learn today?
Ryan Rishaug gave us the good tips on light glare. I appreciated that from an expert. That guy would know what he's talking about, so I appreciated that. I appreciate that he and I can still go back and forth on things that don't matter, right? Like Zach Hyman being on or off Team Canada doesn't really matter. They should still win Four Nations, but I like the idea of them not, their power play going dry at the wrong time, and then Oiler fans getting to walk around going tisk tisk for how many months? At least 12 months, right?
Until the Olympics.
Yeah, until the Olympic team is named.
Yeah.
And then we get to sit around and go, you going to make the same mistake again? Or are you going to smarten up this time?
I learned the Boston Red Sox, they've signed right-handed pitcher Walker Buehler, 1 year, $21.05 million.
What was people's problem with Walker Buehler?
Last year he went 1-6.
Is that what it is?
5.38 ERA in 16 games for the Dodgers. So it did not work well for the Dodgers. But the Red Sox gave him a 1 year deal worth just over $21 million. Yeah. One of those. Hopefully it doesn't show anyone anything because screw the Red Sox. Yankee fans.
Fair enough.
The Red Sox.
Yeah.
Dustin with a Y. Actually, Dustin with a Y asked earlier thoughts on the Yankees move. The Yankees are making a lot of moves.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happy that they didn't sit still after losing Soto and just go, this is what it is. And they're actually trying.
There is a question from early today. The Wolf texted in. We were talking about the boxing over the weekend.
Yep.
And there's Moses Imau. I'm mispronouncing the name. Let me get it up here. I'm pretty sure I had it. Moses Itamu. Moses Itamu, it was kind of the co-main event. He's the 19-year-old heavyweight, because we were talking about who's next for Usyk. And he won in a TKO fashion in the first round, just absolutely cleaned Dempsey and McKenna clock. And he was asking, like, what are my thoughts? Because people are like, he's the next Tyson. I'll say this. Every short boxer in the heavyweight field since Mike Tyson has been compared to Mike Tyson. David Tua was one. Like, we've seen this before. First of all, it doesn't do credit to what Mike Tyson was. Like, when you see highlights of 21-year-old Mike Tyson, like, it's not just that he was a ferocious boxer, but the guy looked like an Adonis out there. And Moses Atuma is a phenomenal boxer. But if you watch the fight, this Dempsey McKenna, he bit on every feint. Like, he got knocked down twice with the same overhand right, and it was feinted. Like, the fight starts with several low feint, and he bites every time, drops his guard every time, and then gets hammered with an overhand right, and then feint low, hammered, and the fight's over with an overhand right. And so I'll say this. He looks really good. He only has 11 professional fights. We'll see how that holds up when he actually goes against competition with a decent corner and a decent training camp, to know that you don't bite on the low feint. And the other thing I'll say about this is the overhand right is the most dangerous punch in boxing for the guy who throws it, because there is no more risky of a punch to break your hand on than being a short guy throwing the overhand right. Because when you don't hit jaw, you're usually coming down on the hardest part of the skull. And any old boxing fan around here knows a Scotty Bulldog Olsen was the last world champion that this town produced. And his career was cut short because he kept breaking his hand on the overhand right. So that's what I'll say. I'll just caution it. If that's his money punch, it's effective, but it's also short-lived. You usually break something with time.
A&W text of the day. The A&W has a deal for you. What's better than one mama burger made with perfectly seasoned grass-fed beef patty topped with pickles, a slice of onion, ketchup, mustard, teen sauce, served on a toasted sesame seed bun? It's 2 of them.
The Deuce.
For only $9.99. You could enjoy them at participating A&W in Edmonton, St. Albert, Sherwood Park, and Devon. I'm going to Lucas.
Give me 2.
Going to Lucas. Give the gift of subs to your friends and family members in their name, like George did with the Human Fund when it comes to the ESD subs
subscribe.
on YouTube. That was the text.
Unless you're already subscribed, and then don't click subscribe because you're already subscribed.
No, you're unsubscribed. And if you unsubscribe and resubscribe, it doesn't really change anything. But there's the A&W text of the day for Lucas. What are we watching? I guess tonight, in a sense. What are we watching?
Well, this
tonight?
afternoon.
Because we've already talked about it.
We talked a little bit about it this afternoon. Leafs Jets. I know we're supposed to hate the Leafs, and good on you if you do, but that's a really good hockey game.
Trev, what are you watching tonight?
I'll be driving home, so I won't be watching anything.
Okay.
I'll be tuning in to maybe listening to the game. Well,
tuning into EST for the entire trip.
Yeah, actually. Look at that.
There's college football, 9 o'clock. It is the Myrtle Beach Bowl. 12:30. It is the famous Idaho Potato Bowl.
Nope.
I love it. I'll be watching some of it.
Thing.
But I'm watching 6 things tonight, potentially.
So the Idaho Potato Bowl is taking place in Myrtle Beach?
No, there's the 2 different games.
Okay, good.
The Myrtle Beach Bowl has Coastal Carolina taking on University of Tulsa, Texas San Antonio. And then there's the famous Idaho Beach Bowl with Northern Illinois taking on Fresno State.
Is it at least in Idaho?
Yeah, it's at Boise in the blue turf.
Right.
I'm watching upwards of 6 other games today. Starting at 11 o'clock, New York Rangers, New Jersey Devils. Hopefully the Rangers win. Then the Blackhawks taking on the Wild, looking for the Blackhawks to get the win. Then the Sabres taking on the Islanders with the Sabres looking for a win. Then the Sharks taking on the Canucks. Hopefully the Sharks get the win. Then the Ducks taking on the Golden Knights with the Ducks to get a win. And then the Hurricanes taking on the Preds with the Preds getting the win. If I get those 6 wins, plus 45,291 hits, 24 cents turns to $108.94. Boom!
That's a Christmas miracle.
That's a Christmas miracle. I'm still on air. I've got the Hangout coming up with Jasmine and Zach. I've got Lock Shop with Pat Gregoire. Will, Merry Christmas to you. Thanks for coming in. Have a wonderful Christmas.
Pleasure.
Trev, this is it for you, kind of on air. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you, Maddie. Thanks for stepping in the last few days. I had a lot of fun with both you boys. Merry Christmas to all the nasties. I love you guys. Yes, be safe. Have fun.
Merry Christmas to everyone on behalf of Dusty and Eric as well. Dusty will be back on January 6th. Eric back on January 2nd. The next Nielson Show with Lieutenant Eric will be next Monday, December 30th. YouTube Trev back. Myself and Dave Jameson. I will talk to you shortly on the Hangout. But if I don't talk to you there, have a wonderful Christmas and talk to you next week.